Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller and welcome back to some more Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The previous part of this walkthrough was a montage style video in which I re-explored the land of Hyrule in an effort to defeat all of the Flux constructs, Gleeoks, and Froxes that exist within the game. And now that I've gone ahead and defeated all of them, I've received monster medals to prove that I completed the task. And in the part before that, I defeated all of the Hinoxes, Stone Taluses, and Moldugas, which means I now have all 6 available monster medals within Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I've defeated them all! And specifically in the previous parts, I took on Flux Constructs, and for defeating them, I gained access to treasure chests, which gave me access to old maps and Sage's Wills. Now, over the course of this walkthrough, I've already collected a fair share of each of these, and the old maps point out places in the depths where I can receive pieces of armor, some of which I've already obtained. So I was thinking that in this part, I would go ahead and find any remaining old maps. If I haven't found them all already, I would cash in the Sage's Wills, and I would showcase all of the unlockables you get for completing those tasks. Because you get more than just monster parts for defeating some of these monsters, you get extra benefits and rewards as well, and I figured I would go ahead and capitalize on that fact. But I suppose before I do any of that, now would be a prime opportunity to explain that, folks, this walkthrough has gone on for a very long time. It's been going on since Tears of the Kingdom first launched 2 years ago, and since that time, a new Nintendo system came out. Check this out, folks! This is the Nintendo Switch 2! Ooh, look at this! It's just like the original Nintendo Switch, but a little more upgraded, a little more updated. Pretty neat, right? And in the process of the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out, certain games have been updated, and that includes Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, for this part of the walkthrough, I'm actually going to close out my game, and I'm going to go into the Nintendo Switch Online tab of my Nintendo Switch 2. Because if you pay for Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pack, you actually get an upgrade for this game for free. Now, there are various Nintendo Switch games that got updates for the Nintendo Switch 2. Some of them you have to pay for, some of them you don't have to pay for. I'll get into that in a second. But if you have the online subscription plus the expansion pack, you get the upgrades for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free. But I'm gonna be real with you, I don't really know where to apply that benefit. You guys can look at my Yoshi icons. I've gotten a bunch of those over the course of the time I've had my Switch. Here we go. Probably in the expansion pack tab, right? Yes. So Nintendo Switch Online allows you to play Nintendo Switch games online, but if you get the expansion pack, you can play Nintendo 64 games, GameCube games, and Game Boy Advance games. And you get the upgrade packs for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free. Which to me is a weird benefit because Nintendo Switch Online is all about playing Nintendo Switch games online and to play multiplayer games with people around the world. And the expansion pack gives you more of that if you're really hardcore into online multiplayer like I've been. So to include upgrade packs for primarily single-player games is weird to me. Now, you can get them individually. They are $9.99, and I'll get them both, even though this is a Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough. Maybe I'll go ahead and record Breath of the Wild footage for myself in the future. So let's go ahead and get this installed. But yes, it seems very weird to tie this behind Nintendo Switch Online. And I guess it's supposed to be like another enticing factor to make you want to get the expansion pack on Nintendo Switch Online. But it's a single player game. That's weird to me. It's already a little weird that they're making you pay for this upgrade as well, because there have been other upgrades that have been on Nintendo Switch games and played on Switch 2 that have been free. Like Splatoon 3 had an upgrade that allowed the hub world to play at 60 frames per second. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet now play at 60 frames per second as well. And there have been some third-party games that now run at 60 frames per second or have other enhancements as well. And those have been free. And it's a game-by-game basis, but to give you some quick examples, Splatoon 3's main hub, when you boot up the game, runs at 30 frames per second if you play it on the original Nintendo Switch. But if you play it on the Nintendo Switch 2, it runs at 60 frames per second. And I think the game itself overall just has some performance boosts. And that's a completely free update. And the big one is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet don't run super well on the original Nintendo Switch, but if you play them on the Switch 2, they run at 60 frames per second and more Pokemon can appear on the screen at once. Then you have some other games coming out like Pokemon Legends ZA, which runs at 30 frames per second on the original Nintendo Switch, and then it runs at 60 frames per second on the Switch 2, and that's like the main upgrade. You have to pay for the 60 frames per second boost. It's not just a free update if you get your Switch 1 version of the game and put it into your Switch 2 like it is for Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. It's a little weird. And Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are kind of in a similar boat. It's not a free update unless you have the Switch Online expansion pack. But just as well, this is kind of a new territory for Nintendo. We haven't had a game system where you play old games on the game system and they just get upgraded or enhanced. At least not from Nintendo's perspective. I think the closest things we've probably had are if you play a Wii game on a Wii U, yes, the quality can go up, although some people might argue that the quality gets a little worse depending on the game. And if you play a Game Boy game on a Game Boy Color, you can sometimes get some extra colors. And if you play a Game Boy Color game on the Game Boy Advance, you can play it in quote unquote widescreen. And there were like 1 or 2 DS games when played on the 3DS that were enhanced. But I don't know. This is kind of weird that some games you have to pay for the upgrades. Some games are free. Some games have completely different versions on the Switch 2. And then this is free if you have an online subscription service, even though it's primarily a single player game. And to play devil's advocate for a second, I understand to an extent why it's locked behind, or not locked behind, but why it would be available behind the expansion pack stuff for Nintendo Switch Online. And it's because it's connected to the Nintendo Switch Online app. And Nintendo's not going to make you download a mobile app to play one of their most primary single player experiences, right? They want you to have the app so you can better appreciate these enhancements. And they figure the only people that are going to have the app are going to be the people that have Nintendo Switch Online, because it's the Nintendo Switch Online app. But just like looking at it as an outsider, the stuff that you get in the expansion pack for Nintendo Switch Online is really, really weird. Like when they first announced it, you get Nintendo 64 Online, cool. You get Sega Genesis Online, I think that's cool. And then you got DLC for Animal Crossing New Horizons. And that was like, okay, so for paying more for a subscription service, you get Animal Crossing and Sega Genesis games. Like those are not connected. What weird things to try to sell to people. Now, I got the expansion pack and I actively use it, so I'm getting my money's worth. And they've since added more and more stuff to it. Like they added the Game Boy Advance games, and they added the DLC for Splatoon 2, which makes sense, even though the DLC was single player content. It's a multiplayer game. And then, of course, they added the Mario Kart Deluxe Booster Course Pass, which made a lot of sense. But it just feels weird to now have this behind it. Now, as a whole, I'm glad that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got these performance upgrades. I think that's really cool. I'm glad that these two games could be included in that 60 frames per second boost. These games could use it. Also, we now have a Zelda Notes setting here, which is just a QR code to tell me to download the Nintendo Switch Online app. Well, fortunately for you folks back at home, I already have the app. Anyway, I'm not complaining that this exists. I'm not complaining that Nintendo has offered it to me for free. I just think it's weird that it's behind the expansion pack part of Nintendo Switch Online. I just think that that's weird. I think it should have been a free update, but it's neither here nor there. I'm not complaining because I get it as a bonus for being a subscriber, but it just seems like a weird marketing tactic. But it is connected to the Nintendo Switch Online app, and I will demonstrate what that has in just a moment. All right, folks, lo and behold, my cell phone! I do use an iPhone, and I have used the Switch Online app a couple of times, but of course I've never used the Zelda Notes feature of it, and of course that's all why Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have their Switch 2 editions available for free if you have the expansion pass, because the Switch Online app is only for people that use Switch Online. Anyway, I'm going to showcase the Zelda Notes feature of this app. This is me opening it up for the first time, and by having this open and me saying it's okay to connect it with my game, I now get extra features in both my game and in this app. But full disclosure, I was just about to mention this, there are achievements, so to speak, within the Zelda Notes app, and I am not going for all of these. If I happen to have some of these, then great. And while this is going to be a complete walkthrough of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it is not going to be a complete walkthrough of the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition. I'm showcasing some of these Switch 2 features, but originally when I was mapping out this walkthrough and planning to cover everything, I, nor most people on the planet, did not account for the fact that there would be a Switch 2 upgrade on a successor console, right? So all of this achievement stuff is cool, and of course I happen to have a number of these simply by collecting all the Korok seeds and doing all the achievements and slaying all the monsters and whatever. But to go for all of these is going to add like another 15, 20 parts to this walkthrough. So maybe, I'm not making any promises, maybe years down the line, I can go for a couple of these and showcase the challenges that come with it. But otherwise, I at least have the ones like the Korok Seeker medal here. That's cool. But I just want to be done with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm upgrading to the Switch 2 version to at least show what's available. And I figure, if there's a higher quality version of this game that I can get for free to record for the final few parts of this walkthrough, then I may as well do so. But the original intention was to have this walkthrough done before the Switch 2 version came out. The original intention was to have this walkthrough done months ago, if not like a year ago, right? But it took me so long that a whole new update for this game came out, and now we have all this other stuff to go with it. So the Zelda Notes feature will show me my stats across the 2 years I've been playing this game, and that's all cool. And you can see some of the stuff that's happened while I haven't been recording, right? But otherwise, this is my general stats. These are my general medals. All cool stuff, but let's really showcase like the main reason you'd want to use this, because it is more than just an achievement tracker. So you do get a daily bonus within Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I'll demonstrate it in this part, and I might even demonstrate it in the next part, but to impose a little bit of a rule, it's going to be the same thing that I do with amiibo. I can scan amiibo daily too, but for the sake of this walkthrough, I feel as though doing that is a little cheap. I would like to showcase this for demonstration purposes, but otherwise I would like to rely on the natural materials that I'm able to collect as a regular player of this game with no additional outside purchases whatsoever. Anyway, the main thing that gets added, as you can probably see already, with the Switch 2 edition of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, is that the game now runs at a nice smooth 60 frames per second, 1080p. In the past, when I was making videos, this type of thing normally wouldn't concern me, but since the Switch 2 is all about being an upgraded version of the original Nintendo Switch, I figured, yeah, this is a prime game to showcase that new hardware power. And plus, I figure it's a free update for the game, or at least free update for me, it's going to be available for the final few parts of this walkthrough that make the game much more presentable, then I may as well utilize it for the final few parts of this walkthrough. I was originally aiming to be done with this walkthrough before the Switch 2 edition came out, so that my footage can remain consistent all throughout. Obviously, that didn't happen. So, here I am, my walkthrough's not done, and a higher quality version of the game is available. So I may as well use it, especially since I like to repurpose my footage for editorials and videos I edit for other clients. And if that's going to be the case, then yeah, going forward, it would stand to reason that I should use this higher quality version of the game. So I should have at least some footage for it. So to double down on that, here's footage of me using the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom, and I may as well showcase it in my walkthrough, even if I don't intend to showcase all of the stuff that's available in the Zelda Notes app. Anyway, what do you say we go ahead and try to showcase that daily bonus effect? So yeah, I can try using this in one or two other parts of this walkthrough, but for right now, if I go into the key items tab and I look at my phone here, I now have a daily roll item down here, daily bonus, and item sharing, yeah. So I can actually share items between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild as well. I'll showcase that in a moment. For now, let's go ahead and get my daily bonus in Tears of the... Oh, I can't activate it yet. Did I do something on my phone first? Let's see. The ability to earn a daily bonus effect resets every day at 5 p.m. Okay. Well, 5 p.m., that would be the same rules as a day resetting in Splatoon, and that's also because it aligns with it being midnight in the Japan time zone, so I get that. Okay, but how do I actually do the roll that is a daily bonus? Right, I'm pretty sure I enabled Zelda Notes. Oh, well, these are special controls. I don't need that, but it's nice to know that this exists. No, we don't need to go to title screen. Options, yeah. I've got Zelda Notes and Amiibo enabled. So if I go to Zelda Notes here, like it's enabled, it's all caps, it's Zelda Notes! It's not just Zelda Notes, it's Zelda Notes! But no, that's all fine. I don't want to mess with any of this. This is all fine. All right, so we're good. Back out of that. No. I've already demonstrated that I have the app downloaded. I've been sitting on the screen long enough. You can even see that I have the app open on the screen to the left there, if I've edited this video correctly. So, okay, do I just need to get out of the menu screen here, or do I just need to roll again? Oh, here we go. All right, so this must be the wheel that allows me to achieve my daily bonus. Is it just going to spin this slow the entire way? Because if so, that's a little anticlimactic, but I suppose it makes it easier for me to actually land on what I want. Okay, so every day, I can go ahead and spin this, and since there are only a couple of days and parts left to this walkthrough, maybe I'll do this more than once. But for today's bonus, I get a tough meal. Well, that's good to have, so now do I just go in here and activate it? That is exactly what I do. Ooh! So, for my purposes, it's like having a bonus food item even when my food inventory is full. Well, I like that. Very good to have. I probably shouldn't have activated it right now, but hey, it's for demonstration purposes, right? So huzzah! I got myself an extra tough meal. Very good. Awesome stuff. All right, so you can do that every day as long as you have the app and as long as you have the Switch 2 version of the game, right? But the other big thing, the main selling points of the app, perhaps I shouldn't say selling point because I got it for free, but the main thing with this app is that there actually is voice acting within it. Now, you do need to keep your phone open while you play in order to access this feature, but while you travel the land of Hyrule, there'll be various points in which Zelda or another character will actually start explaining where you are. And I'm just gonna say right now, I am not going to be showcasing all of these. Just like the medals or achievements or whatever that are also available in the Zelda Notes section of the Switch Online app, I do not intend to go out of my way to get all of these. This walkthrough is already so close to the end. This is a feature that would have been more beneficial had I started doing this at the launch of the game, not at the end. And even though I have basically free roam over the entirety of the map, I'm not going to showcase all of these. But for demonstration purposes, I'll go ahead and showcase like 1 or 2 or 3 of these, okay? So let me give you an example. Alright, so I'm warping over to Hyrule Castle because I imagine Zelda has plenty to say about the various parts of Hyrule Castle. And again, you need to keep your phone open. You need to keep it beside you, so it's not super convenient, but it'll start blinking just like a shrine radar, which is probably why you also couldn't have this type of feature in the game, because for this to be blinking alongside a shrine radar or an item radar or something would be very, very obnoxious. So you either play with obnoxious or you play with inconvenience. Even so, I guess just having your phone on the side is fine, but as you can imagine, this is not something that's going to be easy for me to record in long periods of time, so I'm just going to show this for 1 or 2 quick examples, and then we'll get a move on. So yeah, let's go to the doors of Hyrule Castle, the front gates! So, I believe once I get close enough, Zelda should just start talking, right? Like, my radar's blinking. Pretty sure this is all I have to do. I don't think I have to stand on an exact coordinate. Maybe I do have to get a little closer to the door, but otherwise, this should be it. You're just supposed to walk around, have your phone app open, and then at some point, Zelda or another character will be like, hey, you're in this place. Oh, there it goes. All right, I will leave it to Princess Zelda then. Go ahead, please.
I have heard the castle gate is the product of Sheikah wisdom and Goron engineering. Father always said it would never fall, and he was technically correct. It is the only part of the castle that remains unblemished.
So this type of feature, and in a way this type of technology, is a bit new to Nintendo, so in that regard, it's pretty cool, and it's supposed to add this additional immersive factor to the game. But again, this would have been a bigger deal had I been doing this while playing the game, not at the very end. But then that would also mean that I'd have to have my phone on my side while playing the game at all times, which I technically do, but I don't have this app open at all times. I just have my phone on my side in case like a family member or a team member needs to call me, right? Even so, it's a nice feature. The big selling point or a downloading point for the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to me is going to be just the fact that it plays at 60 frames per second, because it makes the quality of the game look a lot better. And that's something I wouldn't have cared about years ago, but it's something I'm more privy to now, especially since it's a free update for me. In any case, it looks like I'm now in another location where Zelda can speak. Oh, there she goes. I will remain silent for this part.
I loved gazing out at the castle town here in the observation room. The view is completely different now, but I will see to its restoration.
So again, I will stand by the fact that I commend Nintendo for trying something new, but this isn't entirely a convenient feature, and I think there are 100 different voice memories that I can access by re-exploring the map. So this would be cool if you hadn't played Tears of the Kingdom before, you decided to get it with your newly purchased Switch 2, you got the Switch 2 version, and then you got the app, and then you heard these memories while you played the game, right? That's cool. They provide lore and they provide immersion. I'm all for that. But for the purposes of my walkthrough, you know, there wasn't supposed to be a Switch 2 edition. This walkthrough was supposed to be done. So I'm slapping all the Switch 2 stuff here on this part, and I'll use the Switch 2 edition for the remaining parts of this walkthrough, but I don't intend to showcase all of these voice memories. I don't intend to have my phone open by my side while I play the rest of this game. Plus, in order for me to record my phone footage right now, my Switch 2 is already hooked up to my capture device. I have a cable for my phone that allows it to be hooked up to my capture device, but I can only have one capture device plugged in at a time. I do have multiple capture devices, but if you plug in multiple capture devices into a computer at the same time, it doesn't work that simply. You're not able to record multiple different sources at the same time. Your computer, or at least my computer, will start freaking out. So, for the sake of this, I'm actually using my phone's like built-in screen recorder, and to have that running while having this app open while playing Tears of the Kingdom at all times, it's just not convenient. So like, I could use this for my own time and enjoy myself, but I wouldn't be able to easily record all of this for this walkthrough, and as such, I don't intend to record all of this for my walkthrough. But I do intend to showcase the Mipha statue here and see if Zelda or any other character has anything to say, because Mipha of the Guardians is my favorite. Oh, and Zelda has something to say!
I'm sure that you love the view of the village from here, don't you, Mipha? I shared your final words with King Dorephan, you know. He told me, thank you, but I should be the one offering my thanks. And I do. I offer them to you. Thank you, Mipha. I wish only that we had more time together.
Cool. So again, the majority of these notes will be in places of great significance to the plot or lore of Hyrule. I have my gripes about the accessibility and convenience of this app and these features in the Switch 2 edition, but just having a higher quality version of the game is much appreciated, and it's what I intend to use for the remainder of this walkthrough. But I don't really intend to showcase all of the Switch 2 app features relative to the app's method of completion. I'm not going to get all the medals in the app. I'm not going to showcase all the voice memories in the app. I'm just going to showcase them now, for demonstration purposes, and I'll tell you what, because I've only had Zelda talking so far, right? Let's go ahead and find a memory where it's a different character talking, because I assure you it's not just going to be Zelda all the time, and I mean, I'm far enough in the game to start talking about one or two other characters, right? Spoilers are okay at this point, right? So if I return back to the Great Sky Island and I use Ascend to go through the ceiling and reach the top of Great Sky Island, I should be able to access another memory in which the narration will be provided by someone that's not Princess Zelda. So let me see. So this is like the actual first room I was in. I remember because there was a Korok seed in here. So I think if I go through here, boom, and I go through these routes, and I really just ascend my way through all this interior material, here we are. Now I'm at the top. And there's a big old tree up here, and my radar on my phone is definitely blinking. Yep, that's why it's probably for the better that's not just in the game, because I've already had enough radar blinkings for one lifetime. And it won't even be the end because I have to collect certain materials to upgrade armor and stuff, and that'll be the focus of the next video. But for right now, let's go ahead and get one more memory. Oh, one more voiceover. One more core components of this Zelda Notes app. All right, it might be called Zelda Notes, but it's not always about Zelda. It's more about the Legend of Zelda, but I guess Legend of Zelda Notes is a little misleading because then you think it's a Legend of Zelda game with the subtitle of Notes. There's a treasure chest here. Would this be the proper location? Yes, it is! All right, here you are, Raru!
The lives of our people and this tree are interconnected. As we prospered, so too did it. It was the site for many of our rituals, and though that role has since been taken up by the Temple of Time, I am sure this sacred tree watches over us still.
So there you go, you get more voice acting from the other characters too, and as you probably saw, you can also move around and do stuff while the characters are talking. You don't just have to stand still and listen to them, but you could, and you probably should, but you don't have to. But there you go. Those are demonstrations of various memories that exist within the game, and I could continue to use this on my own time. I won't be using it for the rest of this walkthrough. I might still do the daily bonus stuff, and I'll showcase the transfer stuff from Breath of the Wild in just a moment, but there is another thing that's become available in this game, and it's not even related to the app. So when the Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom was initially released, the base version of Tears of the Kingdom did receive an update that just basically has an advertisement to tell people to get the Switch 2 edition. But during that update, the game got more amiibo compatibility because more amiibo were released alongside the launch of the Switch 2. They are for the, I guess you'll call them, the new champions, so it's going to be for Sidon, Riju, Tulin, and Yunobo. Sorry, Teba. But yes, I've got a Sidon amiibo in my possession. It's not mine, I'm borrowing it from a friend, but while I have the Sidon amiibo, I can go ahead and tap it in, and just like all the other Zelda character amiibo that are compatible with this game, you can get a special fabric! Well, you can get one, but it's not guaranteed. Let me roll again, huh? I've got a Sidon amiibo, courtesy of a friend, and sadly Teba doesn't get an amiibo because he's not one of these New Age champions anymore, and he got replaced with Tulin, so Tulin's the one that gets the amiibo, but whatever, that's not the one I have. The one that I have is the Sidon amiibo, which should give me a special fabric, just like the other Zelda character amiibo that are compatible with this game, which is gonna be all the Zelda character amiibo. So we go ahead, open the chest, and we get a special fabric. Doggone it! At least this spear is better than the other one that I got. I think it's cool that the Tears of the Kingdom New Age champions have their own amiibo figures, and they actually came out really well, but I couldn't justify buying one at the Switch 2 launch because I was already buying a bunch of stuff during that launch anyway, and I would have had to bring it back from New York because that's where I bought my Switch 2, so I couldn't justify getting an amiibo in the first place, especially since my apartment already has so many amiibos, so I'm running out of space anyway, so that's why I'm borrowing this one. So if I could go ahead and get the special fabric now while I have this amiibo in my possession, that would be great! Let's see what we got. Third time's the charm, huzzah! So for tapping the Sidon amiibo with your Tears of the Kingdom game, you get the Sage of Water fabric, you get Sidon special amiibo fabric that you can only get for having the amiibo. Now, that does mean that all the other New Age champions, Tulin and Yunobo and Riju, have their own amiibo fabrics as well. I only asked to borrow the Sidon one, so that's the only fabric I'm going to be able to get. But as it is a new fabric and there are still a couple of parts remaining in this walkthrough, I figured I could at least go ahead and apply it. I know I only recently applied the, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda amiibo, and I just got that, and now I'm immediately replacing it. But hey, I did primarily use that fabric to go ahead and hunt down all the Korok seeds and defeat all the monsters, so as far as my own playtime is concerned, I used it for quite a bit, but as far as parts of this walkthrough are concerned, yeah, I know I only used the Zelda amiibo to get the fabric for 3 or 4 parts. But for these final few parts, while I use the Switch 2 edition of the game, I'm going to use the Sidon fabric. So get one last good look at the Zelda fabric, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda fabric. It does look nice, but I think this Sidon fabric will look nicer, especially since I primarily used the Mifa fabric over the course of this walkthrough. So it kind of feels full circle to use the Family Bloodlines fabric for the rest of this walkthrough. So we'll go ahead and get that Sidon one here. Yes, so unless you have all the Zelda series amiibo, you won't really have them all. But I at least got the Sage of Water fabric, for borrowing this Sidon amiibo. And it does look similar to the Mipha fabric. Obviously, it has its differences, and the differences are significant enough to warrant having a different amiibo to unlock it, I would say. And plus, Sidon is just a fantastic character, and I love him and Mipha. And you know what? I even like Yona, too. And for better or for worse, Yona doesn't have her own amiibo, so no fabric for her. But hey, we got the Sidon one, the Sage of Water fabric. So there you go. Get a nice good look at this one. Get used to it too, because this is the fabric that I shall be using for the remainder of this walkthrough. I doubt that I'll be getting any other amiibo related fabrics for this walkthrough, and as far as I'm concerned, I have all the non-amiibo focused ones too. Pretty sure. I mean, I got the Addison one for putting up all the signs, so that ought to be good. But yes, you can get these fabrics without downloading the Zelda Notes app, and I'm fairly certain you can get them without having the Switch 2 edition of the game too. I think you just have to update your game in general. Maybe that. But even so, I've got the Switch 2 edition of the game, and I've got this fabric. So for the rest of this walkthrough, I'm gonna be playing things at 60 frames per second, and I'm gonna be using this fabric stuff. But there are still a few more things I want to showcase regarding the Switch 2 edition of the game. So obviously, if you have the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack subscription, you get both the Switch 2 editions for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. And that makes sense that both games would have a Switch 2 edition, right? They're both built on the same engine, and the whole premise of Tears of the Kingdom is that it's a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, and therefore it uses a lot of the same assets, it uses the same world and everything, right? But that also means that there is connectivity between the two games. And to me, that's actually really cool, because previously, if you had the Switch version of Breath of the Wild and then you booted up Tears of the Kingdom, you could transfer over your horses from the stable, and that was already cool. But now that these both have Switch 2 editions, if you have save data between the two, you can actually transfer items from one game to the other. So I'm about to demonstrate what happens if you transfer items from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. Which means, yes, all that time I spent 100% completing Breath of the Wild all those years ago, which also took me 2 years, will come and play now, as I'll be able to transfer various valuable items from that game into Tears of the Kingdom. But, there is a limit on how many items you're allowed to transfer each time, and just as well, I'm going to impose the same rule that I did for utilizing Amiibo in Tears of the Kingdom and the daily spin Zelda Notes thing that I just imposed upon myself, which is, I don't want to rely on the system. I can make things very, very easy for myself because I have a completed save file for Breath of the Wild, and I feel as though, because this is a walkthrough, that takes away from the usefulness of this walkthrough, right? Like if I could just use Amiibo or this app and my 100% save file from Breath of the Wild at any time, then how useful is this walkthrough really? And I acknowledge that even though I've been making this walkthrough for 2 years now, it's not as useful as it could have been anyway. The point still stands that I want someone to be able to find this video at any time and learn from it and not feel as though they need to have all of this extra stuff in order to be able to accomplish the same things that I have. Sure, getting things like Amiibo Fabric is fun and all, but as far as completing the game and showcasing how to beat the game with just the game, it's kind of something that I like to do. Like, you know, I put these rules upon myself such that if someone was trying to follow along, they'd be able to do the same thing. But I also want to be thorough and showcase some of these Switch 2 enhancements just so that I can say that I did it. All this to say, I'm going to transfer a couple of items from Breath of the Wild into Tears of the Kingdom for demonstration purposes, but that I otherwise don't intend to utilize this feature for the future. I just don't think it's going to make this walkthrough any more useful to the average viewer. In any case, I guess another thing with the Nintendo Switch 2 is that these loading screens are almost non-existent. This game boots up almost immediately, and would you look at that DLC version 3.0, I never thought I would see the day, but we are here. It has the Zelda Notes setting there as well, and it has the big old Nintendo Switch 2 edition banner underneath the logo. Very nice, very nice. So it has been some time since I played Breath of the Wild, but before I do anything else, I suppose that I should ensure that my Zelda Notes app is enabled to be working with Breath of the Wild. And this is just the same screen that's there for Tears of the Kingdom, so I already have the app, I've already demonstrated the app. It should just work with Breath of the Wild, correct? So I should be good to go. There we go. Confirmed. Communication with Zelda Notes enabled. All right, let's go back into the game. Oh, I don't recall playing this in 2021. The last thing I definitely recorded was for my walkthrough. I must have been trying to get like a pickup shot or something. Maybe I was getting footage for someone else because they needed footage from Breath of the Wild and I have a complete save file. But yes, September 23rd, 2019, that sounds more correct. 2 years after the game came out, and I have a 100% completed save file with all of the DLC completed too, and I recall that the last shot that I recorded for my Breath of the Wild walkthrough was me returning to my house, Link's house, I guess, and showcasing the photo that you get for completing the DLC. And the photo goes right over here. So that much is nice. And yeah, this is, or was, Link's house in Breath of the Wild. And Tears of the Kingdom, it's more of Zelda's house, and I guess that's what happens when you let someone move in with you. It basically becomes their house, right? Especially when it's your girlfriend. But I digress. It's more of Zelda's house now. It was Link's house in Breath of the Wild, but Link now has a new house in Tears of the Kingdom by Tarry Town or Tari Town or whatever that you can customize, and I quite like that house, so it's all good. In any case, enough about houses. This is Breath of the Wild. Even though it's very similar to Tears of the Kingdom, it has many, many differences. And because I completed the DLC for Breath of the Wild, I have access to the Hylian cycle, which is something I barely got to use in my Breath of the Wild walkthrough because this was one of the last things that I did. But I can go ahead and showcase it now, and all of its glorious Switch 2 Edition 60 frames per secondness. Check this out. Woo! I can go for a motorcycle ride right outside my house and go for a nice midnight or 2:35 a.m. stroll. Nice. So, yeah, I got every Korok seed, I slayed every beast, I got all the medals, I did the story, every side quest, all the armor upgraded. I did it all right? This is quite the thorough save file, which is why I don't want to transfer too many items from here into Tears of the Kingdom, because I don't want to tell people who are watching my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough, hey, in order to follow along with this walkthrough, you need to have completed Breath of the Wild, so go watch that other walkthrough. No, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy myself riding this motorcycle at 60 frames per second, because I don't know how many people have footage of this. Check this out. I'm gonna go off this cliff here, woo, and then I'm gonna go off this cliff, and then I'm gonna jump, and then I'm gonna glide over here, and oh, look at my basic glider in this game, isn't it nice? Oh, that's right. Look at what I can do. I can shoot into the sky. Oh, this would be so much more useful and broken in Tears of the Kingdom. But okay, let me get to a nice, relatively safe location so I can go ahead and demonstrate some of the Switch 2 features that make this game compatible with Tears of the Kingdom. And I forget why this is the outfit I chose to wear. I think it's because like you could only get this with the DLC, so I chose to wear this at the end of Breath of the Wild. And then my thumbnails from a Breath of the Wild walkthrough showcased me wearing this armor, so I think I just felt appropriate to wear it at the end. I think that's what it was. Okay, so just around over here, oh, I've got some keys coming after me. All right, well, here's the thing, right? You can transfer items from Breath of the Wild into Tears of the Kingdom. So if you find that you have an easier time getting certain items in Breath of the Wild, like a key swing or a key eyeball or choo-choo jelly or whatever, then you can get it in Breath of the Wild and just transfer it over to Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I'm gonna say this, I'm assuming the game will tell me this in a moment, I haven't actually seen it for myself, but I'm gonna say this. There are some items in Breath of the Wild that simply don't exist in Tears of the Kingdom, and obviously vice versa, right? Tears of the Kingdom added a lot of items that simply did not exist in Breath of the Wild. So I'm assuming you just can't deposit those items. You just can't transfer those items, and that's fine. I will compare this to Pokemon games, because I absolutely love it when games can read save data for other games you played and unlock stuff for you based on that information. And Pokemon is one of the fastest examples I can think of where you could transfer Pokemon from one game into another, and in the original first 2 generations of Pokemon, you could actually transfer Pokemon backwards from Generation 2 to Generation 1. Circumstances pending. It had to be a Pokemon that existed in Generation 1, it had to only know moves that existed in Generation 1, and obviously it couldn't be holding any items or be caught in a special ball or anything like that. But it could be done. And I suppose we have the modern day equivalent of that too. Oh, that's right. I'm remembering like the different weapons that exist in this game. Well, Royal Claymore exists in both, so whatever. But things like the Flame Blade, the Thunder Blade, those are my favorite in this game, and they don't exist in Tears of the Kingdom. Instead, you gotta fuse fiery stuff. Oh, yep, and then I got Daruk going. There you go, boom. All right. Yes, I'm becoming reacquainted with Hyrule again, but this time in Breath of the Wild. So yes, oh yeah, and then there's like Guardian parts and stuff too, but Guardians don't exist in Tears of the Kingdom, right? But what I was getting at was, I love when games are compatible with one another. It's kind of a lost art form. Like we used to have games like on the Game Boy where you could connect them to each other and unlock stuff. And I think even some Game Boy Advance games like Metroid did that. If you played Fusion or Zero Mission and you connected it to the other game, you can unlock stuff, something like that. So this is the closest equivalent that we have in the modern age, excluding Pokemon, because you could catch a Generation 9 Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, transfer it to Pokemon Home, and if the Pokemon existed in Sword and Shield or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, then you could transfer it to there as well. And I think that's really cool. I love that, and I wish that Nintendo would keep doing stuff like this, and if it means having to get the Switch 2 edition of a game and having to use a mobile app to make it all compatible, then so be it. In any case, here, this is a nice safe location. Here we are, and now we have the Zelda Notes button here on my menu here. Very good. Yeah. Again, this game is obviously very similar to Tears of the Kingdom, but it does have many differences. I'm remembering that the UI looks different here and that the menu is also completely different here. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get that mobile screen showing up on the side of the video if I've edited this video correctly. And I can go ahead and see what the whole Zelda Notes item transfer system is all about. So, in the app here, we have the item sharing button, something I haven't used just yet, and there are other buttons in this app that I probably won't be showing for this video, but item sharing is what I want to focus on right now because that's the actual connectivity feature between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So, as I've already explained, there are some items that simply won't be transferred, but for the sake of things, what do you say we go ahead and transfer over some items that I feel as though will be compatible? So, like a weapon, a shield, maybe a couple of materials, including some rare ore deposits, so to speak. And then, I don't know, if 1 or 2 items don't get transferred, it should give me like rupees or something, right? So we'll see. And yeah, in a way, this sort of adds an online component to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as well. You can't directly interact with another player. It's not some sort of MMO RPG, right? But you can indirectly interact with them in the sense that you can give items from your adventure to your friends who are on their adventures, right? But you can also just give them to yourself and transfer them between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That's totally valid. And of course, for the demonstration of this video, that's exactly what I intend to do. So I've got my items selected here, including a diamond and a dragon scale. So I should be able to just move that over to Tears of the Kingdom, right? So we can game transfer that over. Great. And then when I switch over to Tears of the Kingdom, I should be able to go and pick that up. So give me just a moment. So yeah, I think my time here in Breath of the Wild is done. I think from here, everything I'm going to be doing is just going to be in Tears of the Kingdom. So I've deposited some items in Breath of the Wild, and then on my phone, I've hit send to Tears of the Kingdom. All right, it took me a second, but here. Now I've got it. So now if I go into here and I hit withdraw, I got my diamond. Great. So now I'm able to do that for every other individual item that I have chosen to transfer over from Breath of the Wild. So I will demonstrate. Let me put my phone screen back on the main screen here. All right, and then let me go ahead and give myself the other kind of like utility items that I chose to transfer. So a bunch of arrows, the Keese eyeballs. All right. And then I have to actually like transfer them to Tears of the Kingdom, right? Yeah, so here we go. I take game transfer. There we go. So there you go, Keese eyeball, that should be the same. The arrows should all be fine. I just got psyched out by the fact that when you want to transfer over arrows, you're transferring over each individual arrow. You don't transfer over them in bundles of 5 or whatever, like when you buy them from the shops. So each individual arrow, that should all be good. And then we'll do the weapons next, and then we'll do the dragon scale next, and then that should all work out fine. I did not experiment with any items that I know aren't in Tears of the Kingdom, like the Thunder Blades right now. I figured that's just is not a necessary thing right now, but for the time being, this should allow me to obtain my arrows and my Keese eyeball. There we go. Send a game. There we go. I had to make sure I hit that first. Okay. Send a game. Send a game. Send a game. And then Keese eyeball. Send a game. Now it should work. Boom. Give that a shot. Withdraw. And boom. Got my arrows. Got my Keese eyeball. So I mentioned this earlier, but yeah, if you have an easier time getting something in Breath of the Wild, by all means, do it. If you have more rupees in Breath of the Wild and want to use that to buy arrows, and then you want to transfer over, I don't know, 10 arrows at a time to Tears of the Kingdom, so be it. Dinral's Fang, I have an extra one here. I know I'm going to need Dinral's Fang in Tears of the Kingdom. May as well move that over, right? One less Dragon Fang I have to hunt down. So we'll move that over. Boom. Okay. And then that should be right here. All right, withdraw. Boom. Dinral's Fang. Yeah, I'm not even certain that I have any Dragon Fangs that I've ever gotten a Dragon's Fang here in Tears of the Kingdom. I've always gotten the scales, but there you go. Shard of Dinral's Fang, great. And then last but not least, I gave myself some extra weaponry. So that's going to be these blades and this shield right here. One less Lionel shield that I have to get. Not that I need a Lionel shield, but I like to have it. And having some extra weapons is good too, so I don't have to pay for them or use other weapons or resources to get more weapons and resources. So here you go. Got the weapons going over. Got the shields going over. And see, here you go. Here's the difference. So a regular old basic Gerudo scimitar from Breath of the Wild when transferred to Tears of the Kingdom is a Gerudo scimitar with a sparkly effect to it because weapons are decayed in Tears of the Kingdom. Here you go. Bring all those here. We go into Zelda Notes. I withdraw them. I got my Lionel shield here, and then I should have my regular old weapons, including that sparkly Gerudo scimitar, over in this inventory. So yeah, all good. I used a lot of weapons to defeat all those beasts, so bringing over a couple of weapons now I feel is fine. And I was also able to bring over Dinral's Fang and a diamond. So I've at least made some productivity by showcasing the Switch 2 versions of these games, and before I leave Breath of the Wild and go back to focusing on Tears of the Kingdom, there's one more thing I want to do, and that's that I want to see and showcase which medals I have achieved in Breath of the Wild. And I can't imagine I'll be going out of my way to unlock or earn the remainder of these medals, but I just want to see, for my 100% completed game save file here, which medals have I actually earned and achieved over my 2 years of playing this game. Boom. 17. So yeah, all the shrines, all the Koroks, and then just a basic Citizen of Hyrule medal. All right. So yeah, I had to play this game for 200 hours. My bad. I beat it in 194. I guess I could leave my game on for 6 hours and get that medal, but whatever. I'm not going for these, folks. One, this is not a Breath of the Wild walkthrough, let alone a Nintendo Switch 2 Breath of the Wild walkthrough. And two, I've got a million other things I have to do. The first of which is complete the rest of Tears of the Kingdom, right? But some of these medals are amusing. And yes, this could be fun if you had never played Breath of the Wild previously and you decided to finally get it with the Nintendo Switch 2. But okay, that's all the mobile stuff that I intend to show right now. I did have another goal, another focus that I wanted to have in this video that I mentioned at the beginning, which was showcasing the whereabouts of the treasures that are discovered by the old maps and cashing in my Sage's Wills. And I booted up Breath of the Wild by accident. I'm sorry, that's my bad. I wanted to boot up Tears of the Kingdom. All right, so now we're back into Tears of the Kingdom proper. I don't really intend to show any more of the Switch 2 mobile app stuff. I just intend to play this game in the Switch 2 version because the quality of the game is overall going to be better. So enjoy the next 5 parts of this walkthrough while I wrap things up at 60 frames per second. So yes, these Switch 2 features are cool and the mobile app stuff is cool, albeit a bit inconvenient, but the main thing I like is that you can connect to Breath of the Wild and send your items over. I think that's really neat, even if I don't intend to really do it too much in this walkthrough for the sake of just making things more viewable for my audience back at home. But I decided to showcase Switch 2 features. I figured that stuff is out, and that's on me for taking too long to complete this walkthrough, but since this is the timeline we're in, I'll go ahead and showcase that stuff. And you know, I guess it is a little weird that Breath of the Wild takes place 2 years before Tears of the Kingdom, but you can still directly link between the two games. But that's also the same thing that Generations 1 and 2 of Pokemon did, right? Gold and Silver also take place 2 years after the original Pokemon games, and you can send Pokemon back and forth between the games, so this is fine. It's just items. I think it's neat. I am in support of this concept. Plus, especially with Zelda games, time travel has been a main theme of the series since basically the beginning. Even Zelda, at the beginning of this game, got sent to the past and sent me the Master Sword, basically, from the past. So, if you want to say, well, it doesn't make sense from a story perspective, sure it does. Time travel is normal in Zelda games. And being able to send stuff to the past or from the past, totally normal. All right, you know what? I'll go ahead and fight these Gloom Hands. My first Gloom Hands at 60 frames per second. Bring it on! I gave myself some extra weapons for a reason. Let's go! Oh, yep, okay. Well, now you can see them terrorize me at 60 frames per second. Ooh. All right, there you go. That's that. Oh, nope. Okay, I'm wiggling. It's fine. I don't mind taking a little damage now while I get back into the swing of things. Enjoy it, folks! I might repurpose this footage in the future for something, because I don't really intend to fight too many more Gloom Hands intentionally after this, but I'll go ahead and do it now so I can go ahead and have some extra footage of stuff and demonstrate the beauty of this game on the Switch 2 hardware. Yeah, that's been the primary thing I've been using my Switch 2 for as of late, is basically been using it as a Switch Pro, because the only Switch 2 games I have are Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. But this, it's a Switch 2 edition, I guess it counts. This is pretty cool. Well, that's not true. At this point of me recording, I also have the Mario Party Switch 2 edition as well, but still, there you go, Phantom Ganon. Defeated! And there, now I got myself an extra Gloom Sword. Very good, and then you'll drop, like, Dark... Oh, and the Demon King's Bow, I'll take that too. And the Dark Clumps, I'll take those. All right. The focus of this video was supposed to be on the old maps and the Sage's Wills that I got in the process of me getting the monster medals over the past few parts, and I do still intend to do that. But just as well, I acknowledge that topic would probably only cover about 15 to 20 minutes worth of a video, so if there was ever a video for me to have all the Switch 2 discussion stuff on, it was probably this one, rather than putting this 40-50 minute section on a 2-hour video, and then it just kind of becomes washed out by the 2-hour topic subject matter, right? So if there was a video for me to showcase Switch 2 stuff, it's this one, and now we can end it with a dragon flying in the background that Sidon is now obstructing. There we go. Yeah, I think that's another thing that got added with the Switch 2 edition of this game, is the draw distance is better and stuff in the background is animated a bit better, so enjoy that dragon all the way over there. But okay, on to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's get the remaining Sage's Wills. Well, first, let's actually go ahead and upgrade my allies here with the Sage's Wills that I do have, and that way I'll be able to see how many Sage's Wills are remaining. Because you need 4 Sage's Wills to upgrade a character's abilities, just like you would need with the Lights of Blessing. And I've already upgraded 1 or 2 characters, and then I have 8 or 12 Sage's Wills, so maybe I'm able to upgrade them all right now, and then I can focus on the old maps. We'll see. But for the sake of upgrading my characters, I've decided to return to the Temple of Time over here. Just feels appropriate. And hey, with the upgraded processing power of my Nintendo Switch 2, the loading times are a lot faster. Don't even need the Switch 2 edition for that, just the Switch 2 will make certain games load faster. Oh, although that doesn't change the fact that I'm still a bit of a dunce and can't ascend properly, but here we go. But yes, with the Switch 2, the loading times will be faster, and I have the Switch 2 edition, so at least the gameplay that I'm providing while I go through this whole process will look a whole lot smoother as well. That's been the main thing I've been enjoying out of my Switch 2, is using it as a Switch Pro. And I'll use this opportunity to go back and record footage of other games that also received enhancements. Like Mario Odyssey, I think, got a slight upscale upgrade, as did the Bowser's Fury of Super Mario 3D World. So I'll be recording footage of those games in due time, and I might make them into videos or something. But I'll be gathering footage of all sorts of Switch games on my Switch 2. And this is an exciting time. I love that this is a thing, that these games are getting upgrades. And I already had a whole conversation about that at the beginning of the video. I won't dwell back into it. For now, let's go ahead and upgrade my allies. So I think a while ago, I may have upgraded Tulin. Now, I know I've upgraded at least 1 character. I have 8 Sage's Wills, which means I can upgrade 2 characters. But I have 4 characters left to upgrade. Right. So that means that there are 20 Sage's Wills in the game total, assuming that there aren't any leftover ones. You need 4 to upgrade each character. There's 5 characters, so 20 Sage's Wills, right? The math lines up. I've upgraded 1, I've now upgraded 2, I have enough to upgrade the 3rd, and then there will be 2 characters remaining, which means there are 8 Sage's Wills remaining. So I did not collect them all. Very well, I'll upgrade another character here. At this point, we'll just go in order. So now we've got Sidon. Seems fitting enough that I upgrade him in this video, considering I just got his new texture for my glider fabric. So that'll be good, but 8 Sage's Wills to go. They'll all be on the island somewhere. I believe I got all of the ones that would be hidden behind some sort of battle, whether it be a Flux Construct or a Gleeok. So that means any sort of lingering Sage's Will not be on a battlefield where I fought either of those characters. So they're not going to be over here. They're going to be more so just kind of lingering on other parts of the map that maybe I didn't thoroughly explore. So I'm not going to do this montage style. I'll showcase the ones I'm missing, but I am admittedly going to look up a couple of these. Back to the Wind Temple. You know, last time I was here, it still ran at 30 frames a second. Get ready for a lot of comments like that over the course of this video. But anyway, as I go back through at least the sky portions of Hyrule once more, I'm going to be commenting on the fact that the visuals are a lot cleaner. And I'm still anticipating that this walkthrough will end at part 120, which means there are only 5 parts after this one, or 6 parts after. What part is this? Part 114? Okay. 5 parts after this one. This part included makes 6 parts. That will showcase me playing the Switch 2 version of this game, and while I could totally go and capture footage in my own time, and I might just do that, I'd like to try and make use of this opportunity to capture some footage now. That's why I also took up the opportunity to fight those demon hands earlier. So, for now, if I go toward the red marker I set down, that should be one of the Sage's Wills that I missed, and I should be already higher up than most of the other islands. Usually the temples are, if I'm not mistaken. So, to the red mark! We are gliding at 60 frames a second. And I didn't really comment on this when I pulled open the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, but when I jumped off the motorcycle earlier, I like instinctively pressed the A button to try and get Tulin to blast that gust of wind behind me, even though Tulin's not in Breath of the Wild, obviously, but it's just become my instinct now whenever I'm gliding to more or less mash the A button to glide a little faster, but I guess I don't need to mash it. I just want to make sure that I actually land on the island, you know? It's not going to be above me, right? It shouldn't be. The temples are the highest things there are, as well as the little lightning island that's in the center of the Sky Islands. Okay, but if I've kept track of things properly, and I like to think that I have because I put everything in the descriptions of my videos with timestamps and all, this area over here is a place where I never obtained a Sage's Will. And if it is a place where I've obtained a Sage's Will, well, then I guess I'm revisiting it and reaping it of its rewards otherwise, but yeah, I mean, obviously I went back to these parts to collect Korok seeds and stuff, but I intentionally did not really get Sage's Wills at that time. I got them when I was going for Flux Constructs and all that, because that's the reward you get. I don't want to fight them again, but anyway, here's a Sage's Will. Awesome. 1 out of 8 down, 7 remain. And the next one is at the blue marker I put down. And I guess in order to get up here, you could do what I did, which is to glide over here from a higher position. But if you didn't have that option available to you, I guess this is what the developers had in mind, which was for you to start on a lower platform, one that's presumably easier to access, and then to construct something using Ultra Hand, and then to take that up the railing. Maybe you strap a fan to it or something. Yeah, this is akin to those platforms that I had to create in like the second part of this walkthrough when I was first learning Ultra Hand. You got a little wooden platform here, and then you got this little hook here. And I imagine you're supposed to put these two together, maybe strap a fan or even a rocket to the back of it, and then go up the railing there. Understood. It's not letting me rotate it left or right for some reason, only forward and back. All right, well, whatever. All right, well, the blue marker I set down was wrong. That was a Sage's Will that I had collected previously, but now I've got a new one. This one I do not believe I've collected previously, but it is in an area that I have explored previously. Just never bothered to notice that there was a treasure chest nearby. But that's okay. That was kind of the case with a couple of these other islands, and that's how I got to find the old maps and stuff. They would just be dangling off a chain on the side. So we're gonna go back over here. And yeah, if I had to wager a guess, I was probably here in the past, and I had to bring over some sort of shrine quest in order to fulfill some sort of shrine quest so that I may be able to access a shrine to get a Light of Blessing. So if I go back over here, there should be some sort of location that contains a treasure chest that will contain the Sage's Will. So let me go ahead and take a little look over here. I'm looking. Okay. I don't think it's gonna be on the higher platform. I think it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. I don't know, maybe that's just where okay, obviously I came back here for a Koroks at some point. Oh, hang on, I think this is it. There's a treasure chest in there, that's gonna be the Sage's Will. Okay, and in order to access that, I'm assuming I don't ascend from underneath it, because there's nothing really underneath this. I mean, that's an option, I could use a bunch of hover stones and come back up here. Less than ideal, but it is an option. But this, one of these puzzles, a light puzzle. Haven't done one of these in a while. Okay, so I'm gonna need a mirror to be able to reflect the light into it. Fortunately, I've brought my own. All right. And then how do I actually get the light from over there? Over here. Oh, wait, there's a stake over here. So I can use that to maybe hold the mirror in place. Like eventually it's gonna have to kind of look like this, right? Okay. There's a stake over here. To think I could have missed it. That would have been a mistake, huh? Them's the jokes, kids. Look, it's either me talking about that or talking about how the game now runs at 60 frames a second for the 60th time. All right, but let me see if I can get things into position. I think I might be overcomplicating things because it only gave me the one stake. It didn't even give me the mirror. Maybe there's a mirror up top. I don't know. I got my own stakes. I got my own mirrors. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know when else I'm gonna use these. I already did all the shrines in the game. Okay, and then this just needs to reflect like right there. It's like, I'm holding it above my head, so I can't really see what it's hitting. If I tilt it this way, oh my god. I mean, I guess I could angle one up and then kind of bounce it back. I should be able to get it from here, right? Right? No. No. Okay, and there's not even light anymore. Okay, hang on. Maybe I should reset it to morning time. I think I had it better when it was morning time. So, let's go ahead and get another campfire at play. So we got the wood, boom. I got the fire fruit. Nope, not my weapon. I got my fire fruit, boom. All right, let's camp out. Morning time, please, once more. I don't entirely know if I'll need to take into consideration that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so the sun will actually be shining from a different direction. Oh, and of course it's a blood moon. Of course it's a blood moon. Well, it's a good thing I eliminated all the flux constructs and gleox and froxes when I did, because now they're all coming back. Not that I'd have to fight all of them in one fell swoop, but still. Oh, hey! Okay, so my one contraption with the mirror on the one stake is here, but the one that I had outside is no longer here. That's fine. Actually, well, before I was mentioning how I might have to take into consideration which way the sun is shining, but this might just work. This might just work. Okay, so hang on. If I do... It was shining light for a second. There we go. Okay. So if I set this like here-ish, then well, then I can just open the door now, can't I? Not entirely what I had in mind, but that'll get the job done. All right, and then this should grant me a Sage's Well or an old map, but I'm fairly certain it's a Sage's Well. There we go. Thank you. All right, 2 out of 8 down. A quarter of the remaining ones done. 6 remain. All right, future me, you can cut back to about here. So folks, there were 2 Sage's Wills over on the Thunderhead Isles here. And I guess I got one a while ago. So I marked that one by accident, but I already got it, which is nice. Oh, right. Thunderhead Isles, everything conducts electricity here, so it must be my bow that needs to be swapped out. I guess we'll just go for the regular old duplex bow. Okay. But there is another marker over here. It's the blue mark that I have set. That should also be another Sage's Will. So, to the blue mark! And I do want to apologize. I'm sorry we're at a point of this walkthrough where I do have to look up 1 or 2 things myself. I know that kind of takes away the fun and the point of it being a walkthrough. I'm trying to get my slip resistant armor because I don't want to deal with all this right now. Here we go. I know that takes away from the point of this being a walkthrough. I'm mainly, I have a little checklist here. I'm just making sure I don't go back over retreaded grounds. That's all. Otherwise, the majority of this walkthrough, the bulk of it, I did blind. And I'm proud to be able to say that, but I don't think it's inherently bad to use an outside source if you've done something, you messed up, you're still trying to do it, you're still messing up, and you're just trying to find an answer. I think it's kind of like, how do I put this? You know, if any of you have taken a more advanced math course, you know that the answers to the odd-numbered questions in your textbook are going to be at the back. They don't put all the answers there. If you want all the answers, you need the teacher's book. But the odd-numbered questions have their answers in the back. And those are there not so that you can cheat, necessarily. They're there so that you can cross-reference your work. If you don't understand how to do a problem, you can see the answer there. And then you can try to work out how to do it from there. All I'm doing is, I have a list of where the Sage's Wills are, and I can cross off the ones that I'm fairly certain that I've gotten previously, and then the ones I haven't gotten, I'm just oh, it must be over here somewhere. All right, it would be different if I was showing someone else's footage, and then I would only do that if I tried to record something and then my footage got lost, so then I had a friend that was able to help me. Is that lightning gonna strike me? I'm okay. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to make this a thorough walkthrough so that I may provide a visual demonstration on how to get certain items that I did not obtain previously in case someone else needs help getting these items and they want a visual demonstration. But hey, if you don't like that I had to look up where one of these Sage's Wills locations is, or where a couple of them are, you're totally valid too, I get it. But at this point, right? At this point, I want to be on with this video, I want to get things on, and otherwise the video will just turn into me aimlessly going around all of these islands, and I'd have to trim down footage anyway, and time is of the essence, so I think I can justify looking up where 1 or 2 of these Sage's Will locations are. Or the remainder of them, I guess. And speaking of remainder of them, I almost have half of the remaining Sage's Wills. 5 more to go. I will also say that I am very grateful that I have not had the final boss or any of the ending sequence of this game spoiled to me. My friends have not said anything. I haven't seen any videos or thumbnails that have shown that. I am very fortunate in that regard. And there are plenty of other games where I've been spoiled to the ending or stuff regarding the ending, and that's both intentional and unintentional. Sometimes that's just how it is, when I edit for other clients, or, I used to write for Go Nintendo and stuff, but I had to see that stuff, and that's fine. But for Tears of the Kingdom, the ending sequence for this game is still a surprise to me. I know everyone else has probably seen it at this point. I haven't. So when the time comes, my reaction to that will be genuinely pure, as has most of my reactions to this game. Most of what I've done in this game, genuine, pure, me figuring out stuff as I've gone along. Ooh, we have a rare ore deposit here. Don't mind if I do. Give me a diamond. Ruby's good too. Just want to make sure I collect that before it rolls off the island, and then some extra luminous stones. Okay. Anyway, if this list I'm consulting is correct, there should be a treasure chest here with a Sage's Will in it. Let's see what we got. I'm actually a little surprised I missed this one. I am and I'm not. I guess I didn't really feel compelled to go over to this random floating island of ore deposits, but it's also so easy to access. I guess I'm just grateful that one of the ones I missed, that I missed, was easy to access. And not that I'm gonna break all of these rocks, but I'll break out, why can't I speak right now? I'll break open enough to smash open a rock. That's what happens, guys, when I record too much, I just can't speak anymore. So I guess each of these spheres in the sky, they all had a shrine in them, but they also all have Sage's Will. So there's a whole lower floor there. I can even kind of vaguely see the treasure chest in there. All of these orbs had a Sage's Will in them. And I already got the one that was on Starview Island, or whatever it was called, Starview Island. I got that one a long time ago. When I first went to that island, there was a light puzzle that I had to solve, and that's how I got one of my first Sage's Wills in the game. But all of these spheres in the sky, all of these big floating orbs, all have a Sage's Well, which means there are 2 Sage's Wells, or even 3, that have not been obtained by me. So I think the way to get this is to probably just jump on the opening here and then just ride this along. Yeah, that's exactly what I was supposed to do. So once again, I don't blame myself for missing this one. And I'm glad that one of the Sage's Wells that I do have remaining was quick enough for me to get, so I can move right along here. Great. And then I imagine the way out of here, if you come here for the first time and haven't done the shrine already, is to just ascend out of here. Although I suppose you could also use the circular opening again and just ride that around, but yeah, this is obviously a lot faster and a lot easier. All right, there's another Sage's Well. 3 more to go, everybody. All right, so maybe this topic of the Sage's Wells and all that will take more than 20 minutes because I also acknowledge that right now I gotta actually like get over to this one. That's okay. Once again, I don't blame myself for missing it. This is vaguely familiar though. It's coming back to me now. See, before I was re-exploring Hyrule and that was mostly on the land, and now I'm re-exploring Hyrule and it's mostly in the sky. But this time it's at 60 frames per second. Let's not forget that, okay? I don't want you guys to forget, so that's why I'm gonna keep mentioning it every couple of minutes. But yes, somewhere over here is yet another treasure chest that contains a Sage's Well. So let's go ahead and find it, and if I had to wager a guess, it's gonna be, oh, I thought that barrel there was gonna be the treasure chest, but I think it's gonna be somewhere on the same floor as this barrel. Oh, hang on, we got a little flux guy here. All right, oh yep, the flamethrower, the classic. Well, I've got all sorts of weapons I can use against you, boom. Got all sorts of weapons that were originally supposed to be used against the flux constructs and the Gleeoks and Froxes and all that, and trust me, I used a fair number of weapons on them, but thankfully I have 1 or 2 left over, so there's more where that came from. Look, I just got this Gerudo scimitar in this part. Because it's from Breath of the Wild, that technically means it's a 2-year-old scimitar! Go get him. I know I probably could have fused the material to the end of it, but that's okay. There we go. All right, so we got the Soldier Construct 4 horn. That'll be good. I might even need that to upgrade certain armor in the future. And got a Zonite charge here. Huh, I think if you like transfer over a Guardian Screw from Breath of the Wild, it probably just becomes a Zonite charge in this game. Because all the Zonite stuff almost effectively replaces the Guardian stuff from Breath of the Wild. But I don't know. I guess we don't quite have a replacement for Guardian arrows. 1-hit KOs a monster in Breath of the Wild, but you don't get to reap its rewards, so you gotta be careful. Anyway, I have a sharp sword that I can use to cut down these vines. Oh, and the treasure chest is over there, but it looks like there's an opening on this end. So I think I can just go in through this way. Well, that's the way I'm gonna do it then. Maybe there was an alternative way to ascend from underneath, but I think just gliding around and climbing up this wall is a lot easier, or possibly dropping down from above and then coming inside this little hole is a lot easier. Either way, I got it. 2 more to go, and one of them's gonna be in a floating ball in the sky, I just know it. All right, next floating ball in the sky. In fact, I can even see another floating ball in the sky in the distance. That's actually kind of a cool shot, but as far as right now is concerned, I want to fuse some stuff to this gnarly wooden stick before I forget, because I know I'm about to. Probably could have done this before I warped over here, but I'm doing it now. Okay, and there's nothing really in there that's too appealing to me. Okay, so we can sort by fuse attack power, and then we will do... We'll do the Gleeok Wing. It's the same amount of damage, and I have a surplus of them. And if I really need more, then I can transfer more from Breath of the Wild, right? Ho-ho! Or I don't know, that Blood Moon just happened. I could go slay another one. Whatever. All right, so we're gonna go to this floating ball in the sky. This floating sphere, this orb. This thing whose volume is calculated using pi, an irrational number. All right. Oh yeah, and then where I rotate this is where the hole is. Got it. So I think the way to do this, to try and access the lower floor where the Sage's Will is to kind of just have the opening be right there. And then I think the opening is like kind of covering both floors, right? So if I just drop down, if it's anything like the other floating ball in the sky, the Sage's Will should be down here. Great, then I will take it. Thank you. Yep, just never got this one. Don't blame myself for missing it. Huzzah! And with that, that is 7 out of the presumably 8 remaining Sage's Wells, which means only 1 remains. And if there's one more floating ball in the sky, then I guess it'll be in there. And if there's not another floating ball in the sky, then it'll be somewhere else in the sky. But no matter what, I'm gonna get it. All right, the last Sage's Well that I need, if I didn't misplace another marker, should be over here. But I'm like 99% certain that I got all the Sage's Wills that would be even related to some sort of enemy battle, like a Flux Construct or a Gleeok. So this should be the last one. And sure, I'll go ahead and entertain this little Zonai device gotcha machine. Let's see what we roll. So the Zonai devices, or the Zonai charges rather, are gonna be all the way at the bottom. Boom, thank you. All right, Let's see what we get from this. And then because it's on the Switch too, I can just like immediately skip this and it's super fast. Thank you. All right, we got some rockets. That was the main thing. Oh no, don't blow them off the cliff now. I guess that's also why it kind of has that little indent there, so you can't blow them away. Okay, so the red marker that I said is going to be on the floating island over here. That should contain the final treasure chest with the final sage's will. So, all right, we'll strap a rocket to my shield. That will give me some additional elevation, which will allow me to properly reach the island over here. I think I have ascended enough. And then with Tulin's Gust of Wind, I can use the momentum to reach this island before I descend too much. Great. Yeah, I just think I never went to this island. I think I realized that there was never a shrine on it or a Korok seed or something, so I just never came over here. So there is a Sage's Will over here, so that is more incentive to be over here. And hey, now that I'm playing the game at, you guessed it, 60 frames a second, I can showcase myself presumably solving a puzzle at this increased frame rate. Can't really do that too much these days because I've cleared all the shrines and the dungeons and the side quests, but I can do this. So you drop the water into one and then you go over and drop the water into the, oh no, that has to stay open. Okay, so in order for this to stay open, I will need to find some way to keep that up. So I think the strat is to move this across and then use ultra hit. Oh, well, I think I have the right idea, just not the immediate solution. This needs to like stay balanced on top, and then I have to ultra hand the little stone slab to this, what is this, a tree trunk here? But it's just a little too narrow to not fall over. It needs to be slightly longer, or I gotta find another tree trunk. But I think I might be able to just like balance that. Yes, okay, if I just hurry. There you go, and now that will stay. That works for me. Okay, and so the water then goes into this one. And now I can move the water out of here, right? Does this one need to stay open as well? Right, is it just like getting blasted off the side of the island? Is it just like a little waterfall here? Let's see. No, it reopens. Or refills, rather. Interesting. Well, then where is it going? Is this like a pool? When you go to like a public pool and they have some of those like water overflow things that like helps redrain and refunnel the water back into other parts of the pool? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Whatever. Okay, so for this one, I will have to get an additional tree trunk or two because it didn't give me a tree trunk in the first place. And it's supposed to be on the safe side, yes, to ensure that it's the correct width and length. You can put it back over. Okay, just go up there for a second. There we go. All right, and then up here, and then boop. All right, and then over here. Great. We'll jump over here. Ah, this also only has one little holder. So this one I kinda have to balance on the side. To go there for a moment, we'll just stay there. Great, works for me. If Ultra Hand can work on this, oh, that's gonna be perfect. All right, we drain the water out of here. There's a treasure chest. And then I can now access the treasure chest. Oh, I can get some fish as well, some ancient arowana, very good. And I can get the thing that I came here for, which is the 8th and final Sage's Will, or the 20th overall Sage's Will, and therefore the final one total. Great. So now I have enough Sage's Wills to upgrade the 2 remaining characters that I've got, which are what, Riju and Mineru? Very good. And sure, I'll take these fish for the road. Why not? And then was there another treasure chest in the area up here? I want to investigate that before I leave and either never get it or have to do this whole puzzle again. Well, there's a lot more fish over here, I'll tell you that. This has been a very fishy part between all the fish I got for scanning in the Sidon amiibo and all the fish I'm getting now in this drained pond, but I'm not complaining. All right, let's see what we got. Open up this one. Wasn't even close enough to kick it because I slid off. A magic rod. Yeah, I'll take it, an extra weapon. Now I actually want extra weapons. I remember you wind the clock back like 40, 50 parts. I was like, please don't be another weapon. I've got enough weapons. And now that I've used them all to defeat all the beasts in the game, I actually need some extra weapons now. So magic rod, not my preferred weapon, but it'll have to suffice. Anyway, what do you say we go back to the Temple of Time, we cash in these Sages of Will, we upgrade my allies, and we then just go ahead and pick up the remaining pieces of armor that are in the depths that I'm able to track down thanks to all the old maps that I found. How does that sound to you? And technically speaking, you don't even need to find all of the old maps in order to complete this game. You just need the armor that the maps lead to. The maps make it easier to get those pieces of armor, of course. But you don't need the maps. The Sages' Wills... Sorry, have I been saying Sages' Wills this whole time? The Sages of Will... I don't know. These that I've been collecting, you do need those to upgrade your allies. And as far as completion goes, yeah, I do deem that to be a necessary requirement. I do deem that to be a necessary collectible. but the old maps, technically, you don't need. Just like how I was able to solve some side quests without even having the side quest enabled in the first place. Now, I needed to enable the side quest so I could have it checked off on my complete list of side quests, but I don't need these maps, right? Like, there's not a list of maps that someone's gonna be like, hey, do you have a bunch of old map paper I can use for this diorama I'm trying to make? It could really help. Like, no, that can't exist because I already did all the side quests and there was no character that requested that. Even so, I am currently here to cash in my Sage's Wills, and this could have been much, much more useful earlier on in this walkthrough because then my allies actually could have been dealing more significant damage, especially to all the beasts that I had to slay in the previous parts. But for right now, I'm just gonna upgrade them anyway. There's still 5 parts in this walkthrough. 5 parts for me to showcase this game at 60 frames per second, and 5 parts where my allies could possibly do a little more good. So there, now we're upgrading Riju. This has been quite the Gerudo focused part between that scimitar I got and me upgrading Riju, huh? Nah, that's not even remotely true. It's been more focused on Sidon because I got his glider fabric, but still, Sage's Wills, great. And then I think for this last one, because I'm upgrading Mineru, I want to dress up in the Raru attire. So give me 1 moment. Okay, so if I go to armor, and then if it's sorted like this, it should just be at the bottom, right? Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Since this is the last time I'll be cashing in my Sage's Wills, and may very well be the last time I'm upgrading anything besides just armor parts in this game, I'll go ahead and put this on, because I also don't foresee myself using this armor for the rest of this walkthrough anyway, so this might even be the last time I wear it. But at least I'm wearing it while the game is playing at 60 frames a second. There you go. All of my allies upgraded, including Mineru, who I didn't even realize would have been an ally in this game until like part 100 of this walkthrough. So you're newest to the team, but you got upgraded at the same time as everyone else. Very good. All right, those are all the Sage's Wills collected. Now we're gonna focus on the treasures that you get for finding all of the old maps in the game, and that all leads to the depths. So I'm basically done with the Sky Islands. The rest of this part will presumably, walked a little too far forward. The rest of this part will presumably take place in the depths. So what do you say we go ahead and get started? At some point in this walkthrough, I collected at least 3 old maps that created marks here in the depths, and they contained treasures that I never previously obtained. So I'm gonna go ahead and obtain them now, and ideally, this will be relatively quick. I'll go in, I'll find whatever treasure chest that the old map has pointed out. I will collect the treasure within it, and then there might be 1 or 2 more old maps in the sky. I will collect those old maps, see what treasures they point me toward, and then I will collect those treasures as well. And these treasures will all be armor parts. So ideally, once I'm done with all of this, I will have every armor part within the game, and then in the next part, I can upgrade just about every armor part in the game. And then I'll truly be an overpowered mess between having every heart container in the game, every stamina vessel in the game, having collected every single Korok seed in the game so I have max inventory for weapons, and then I have a bunch of weapons. And then beyond all of that, I now have access to be able to transfer my weapons from Breath of the Wild to here, or trade weapons or whatever with other people that have the Switch 2 expansions of this game. We'll see. And I'm not opposed to giving people my weapons when I'm done with my walkthrough either. Once I'm done, you can use my save file as a bank, so to speak. All right, we got some pose over here. I will go ahead and click the pose real quickly because that'll be a nice currency for later. And actually, this is a movable boulder. What I would like to do is I would like to have another weapon with a boulder attached to it so I can smash open some ore deposits in the future because I might not always be able to use Yunobo. Heck, I'm barely even able to use Yunobo when he's just standing around. All right, well, I found the treasure chest relatively quickly, and that's what I like to see. So bada bing, bada boom, miner's trousers. Hey, I have the miner's mask on, so that's perfectly fitting. So I'll put the trousers on. Did I ever get the torso? Did I ever get the jacket or whatever armor part that goes with it? No, so I am missing that. So ideally, that'll be one of the armor parts that remains here in the depth. There's also the chance that I missed 1 or 2 old maps in the sky, and if that's the case, I'll go back and get them, and then I'll see where they are here in the depths. But for now, what do you say we go ahead and get this one? All right. Let me go ahead and see, because apparently there were 2 armor parts that I never got. And I suppose I could get a couple of them through amiibo, but these are how you would get these armor parts without amiibo. And things like the miner's trousers, you're not going to get that through amiibo unless they make a Raru amiibo or something and it gives you that. But I feel like if they're going to do that, it would give you Raru-centric armor or Mineru-centric armor. I don't know. I don't even think they're gonna do that unless they make another Zelda game that takes place in this land of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I don't mean Hyrule Warriors, because I know they're making Age of Imprisonment right now. No, I'm talking about like another mainline Zelda game here. Don't know just yet. But for the time being, we're gonna wrap this up. I do like gliding around with this new fabric. Ooh, Gerudo Canyon Mine, huh? Another mine that I never explored. Well, hey, ideally, by the end of this walkthrough, I'll have explored every single part of the game, right? I will have a part of this walkthrough that will be focused on me just re-exploring areas that I did not obtain, because having visited every area of the map, I feel is necessary to 100% completion, especially since the emphasis of this game is exploration. So I'll see to it that I explore every part of the map, but having an objective, having a reason to go to these parts of the map always helps. So here we are. Is this gonna be my torso? Trousers of Time? Okay, so that's supposed to be my Ocarina of Time attire. I might have gotten the Trousers of Time previously through amiibo usage, but let me see. I guess I just never obtained it naturally here in Tears of the Kingdom, and that's only fair. So we got Trousers of Time here. Okay, so I got it through amiibo previously. That's fine. Now you know where to get the Trousers of Time here in the depths. Great. Well, okay. I might still be missing a few different armor parts, though. Hey, well, that means that I did miss some old maps in the sky, which means I gotta go and get them, which means this part's gonna be even longer, which means that in hindsight, this whole old maps finding the remaining armor in the depths thing should have been its own video, and probably would have been its own video. But, well, here we are now. Probably shouldn't have attached this to the same video as the Sage's Wills, which is also attached to the video of me showcasing Switch 2 features, but whatever, it's what we're doing, and if I want to end this walkthrough by part 120, which is what I want to do, I think it just needs to be organized this way. I didn't want to have the Switch 2 stuff be its own video, so here we are now. Okay, well, I'm only missing a couple of armor parts, not too many, so hopefully I can just go ahead and figure out where they are now. Here's how I'd like to do things. I'd like to find the treasure chest in the sky that contains the old map, and then the old map will mark down in the depths, and then I can go ahead and get the treasure immediately afterwards, so I can see directly which treasure corresponds to which old map. Now, there is a floating island all the way up here that I never visited, and frankly, I don't blame myself. That's really out of the way. But at least there is a purpose for that island being there, and it's because it contains an old map. So, we'll go ahead and set this bad boy down. Oh, that's just the hot air balloon, isn't it? It doesn't have the flame emitters or the rocket on it. Very well. I will go ahead and get those attached, and then I will go up there and I will get the old map. Yep, so this is definitely an old map I missed. I know I didn't go up to that island before. Hang on a second, I need, just the one rocket ought to be fine. I'll need a flame emitter, and then I'll need a control stick. Oh, and I'll probably need 2 fans. The usual. Okay, so hang on, flame emitter. Suppose in a way I could use auto build to build the rest of this, but it's fine, it's fine. I do still need to hang on to some Zonite after all, because the next part of this walkthrough will be me upgrading my armor, and I know Zonite will be necessary for some of them, so once I upgrade my armor, I can be totally chaotic with my materials, because I won't really need to hang on to anything anymore. Alright, then we just need a control stick and some fans. So, we got, I do still have fans, right? We got the control stick, and the fans are on the top left here. Okay, we're good, we're good. This is gonna be fine. So, boom. I do appreciate that the fans were stacked atop one another. I'll try to be as efficient with this as possible. Okay, so I'll get this. Thank you. Put the control stick over here. Yep. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Come here. Come here, you. All right, go right there. But hey, this gives me more of an excuse to explore more of the maps again and record more footage that I can use for future videos while the game is played in Switch 2 edition at 60 frames per second. So huzzah for that. All right. I did not intend for this to become a first-person view, or a view of Link's rear, rather, but hey, it'll work. Now, strapping a rocket to this contraption was certainly helpful, but I still don't have the necessary elevation to reach the top of this. So what I will do is, I will do a bit of a spiral shape around this, and then once I get close enough, I'm gonna jump off my machine here, and I will grab onto the bottom of this island, and then I will use Link's pure stamina to jump my way to the top. Here we go. This ought to work, right? This isn't slippery or anything. Very good. And now I can jump and jump. And I probably could jump up that, but we'll go to the side here. And I know I could make it if I didn't press X, but to expedite this process a bit, I think I have just enough stamina to make it. And what do you know? It's another one of those ore deposit islands. So I'll smash this one open. Come on, a diamond. Ooh, topaz and 2 rubies? Well, that's awfully generous. I will take that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And sure, I'll smash that open as well. Great. All right. Now, there should be a treasure chest on here. I went to a similar island that also contained a treasure chest, but that treasure chest contained a sage as well. This will contain an old map. Excellent. And let's see just where it marks here in the depths. We've got over there on the left, near the abandoned Hebrew mine. Well, okay. And as I said, I'd like to get these old maps and then immediately see which treasure it corresponds with. So, thankfully, the actual process of tracking down the old map markers and getting the treasures that are marked by the old maps is a relatively easy and straightforward process, as demonstrated by the fact that this treasure chest was immediately near a light route, and I just never bothered to get this treasure chest and the armor within. So, let's see what this is. Is this my miner's torso? Trousers of the hero. Once again, I feel as though I previously collected that via an amiibo, but here's how you would get it officially, I suppose. And then there are some weapons over here as well. Sure, I'll take a couple of these. And a Zonite charge while I'm at it. After all, I never explored this area previously. Would have also been a great place to get some additional Zonite, but whatever. Back to the skies. So I mentioned this place earlier. It's another one of those floating orb spheres in the sky. And I got the Sage as well the first time I was here. But I will now use this location to access an even higher point in order to obtain an old map. And once again, I don't blame myself for having not obtained this old map previously because it's on such a high, out-of-the-way area of the map. And when I was exploring the skies initially, I was mainly just going for shrines. Any sort of isolated floating island that didn't even contain a shrine on it was so uninteresting to me. But now, as I aim for 100% completion and start doing more and more of these tedious tasks and less exploration-focused tasks, it has become a necessity for me to access these far and away islands. So, we're gonna go to the top of this. Already getting out of here is somewhat tedious, but I know it's an orb. I know it's a sphere. So I should be able to go atop of it. And then you'll see that there are some floating islands nearby, none of which I'd ever previously explored. So naturally, I missed an old map over here, and the old map's gonna be on the highest one. A bit of an interesting challenge to try and access it, I do admit so. I love a good challenge. I think the strategy will be to use auto build once again, to use my good old rocket power, or just a regular hot air balloon ought to suffice, because I think what I would want to do, oh, hang on. No, we want to use one that already has my other gadgets on it. All right, so we'll do that one. Thank you. Perfect. We'll use this to go to that island that's directly ahead of me. And I suspect that that island, that one right ahead of me, I suspect that there is a floating platform over there that has a rocket on it. Seems pretty par for the course, because I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to figure out how to get to one of these islands, and then you're kind of supposed to chain whatever device you use to get to those islands to get to the other islands, and by proxy get higher and higher. So you figure out one way to get to these islands. You can use the platforms to get around these islands, or you can be like me, get to this island, grab a rocket, strap it to your already previously developed device, and go to the top. Still, I want to do this as efficiently as possible. So is there a rocket on here? There is. That hot air balloon's gonna go away. Oh, so am I apparently. I'm okay. All right, we're good. All right, sure, I'll smash you real quick. Boom. Goodbye, thank you, and I'll take your Zonai charges or whatever. Thank you. All right, so I need to rebuild my device using auto build. I just established that I want to hang on to my Zonite, but fine. Using 36 Zonite to get this one old map. I guess I do have more than 400, so I do have some Zonite to spare. All right, it's for auto build at this point. I'm already near the end of the walkthrough. Maybe I needn't be so strict about it. All right. So we'll strap this. That can't go on the actual balloon part, right? So I guess it's gonna have to go to the back of it. Okay. And then 2 rockets will make it go up even faster and probably even higher. Look, if the game's just gonna give me rockets, I'll use the rockets. So, rocket up. Okay. Here we go, and we're off. All right, so up. Oh yeah, that was great. But once again, just like that other floating out of the way island that I couldn't access easily before, I will have to do a bit of a spiral shape around here. This I won't be able to jump off of and climb as easily. I gotta get past the pointed part down below, and I gotta get to one of these more rectangular portions here. So let me turn this around. Oh yeah, at some point I was here to collect a Korok seed. I guess I just never bothered to go any further or higher. I was like, I got my Korok seed, there must be nothing else up here. I guess I just figured it was just for the Korok seed, but in hindsight, it is suspicious to build this entire area up here just for a Korok seed. Though I do think there are 1 or 2 floating islands that are just for that purpose. Maybe you get some flowers over there or something, but otherwise the main thing there is a Korok seed. But as far as this island is concerned, the main thing here is going to be this old map. There you go. All right, and then we'll see where that marks here in the depths. That's gonna be this area near the, kind of right around the Great Abandoned Central Mine, kind of left of center. Very well then. There's nothing up on this higher platform, is there? There better not be! I will check real quickly. I will check. Oh, actually, it's not even all too easy to get up there. Perhaps it's not worth it then. I'm gonna trust that there's nothing up there. If I cut ahead, it means there's nothing up there. Folks, there was nothing up there. So now we're going down to the depths. I mean, okay, there was no collectible up there. I suppose there was a pretty vantage point. It had a nice view, but otherwise, nothing up there. So, I'm just gonna make my way over here and get myself my next treasure that has been illuminated to me via this old map. So, we'll head on over here. I'll get a couple of extra Poes. Why the heck not? All right, and then I guess it's gonna be on this little island over here. So let me see if there's a more convenient method for me to get in there. It doesn't look like it. I'll have to glide regardless. I'm just trying to see if like climbing over there, or climbing up the wall rather, will be too much of an issue. I don't want to have to make a Zonai device, but I don't want to have to use my stamina either. It looks like there's a little bit of an indent here, so maybe I can climb up a little bit, restore some stamina, and then climb up the rest of it. So be it. Oh, is this a Coliseum? The floating Coliseum, that settles that. Well, this is certainly a territory of which I have never explored previously. Once again, these old maps are making me explore all sorts of other places, and not just these random contrasting floating islands in the sky. I'm talking about these areas in the depths and other parts of Hyrule. Oh, I gotta actually face something to get this treasure chest. Well, it can't be a Hinox or a Flux Construct because I already defeated all of those and got myself a medal. Oh, it's a Lionel. A powerful enemy. So be it. Oh, I never got a picture of a basic Lionel, huh? Well, I have it now. Bring it on, buddy! I'm well equipped, you have no idea. I even just got myself a Lionel sword thanks to my connectivity with Breath of the Wild. Hooray for time travel and modern day technology. Oh, guys, I'm actually trying to like flurry rush this thing. Although I'm glad that my allies are all upgraded right now so they can deal it. Oh, I did not mean to get on the back of Mineru. No, I want off, thank you. I'm glad my allies are all upgraded so they'll deal extra damage toward this thing. So what I would like to try and do is I would like to try and beat this Lionel. And there's probably gonna be a second Lionel afterward, right? So I'd like to try and beat these Lionels without healing. Let's see what I can do. I've got upgraded allies, I've got all sorts of armor, couldn't quite get the flurry rush there. No big deal. I've already got plenty powerful weapons. I'll be good. Plus this one, there we go, there's the flurry rush. Watch me do a flurry rush at 60 frames a second! Yeah, now you can really see the frames in slow motion. There, now you get to see me do a Lionel battle in the Switch 2 version of this game. Look at how prime this footage is. Oh, no. I'm okay. Ready? Oh, okay. Oh, wait, I don't have a weapon on hand. Give me that. There, just regular old basic Master Sword. There you go. And it's glowing because I'm in the depths and I'm fighting a shadowy figure such as yourself. There you go. Oh, okay. I mistimed that. But hey, I got my Master Sword out and I'm ready to go, and I probably could fuse it with another material, but I'd like to just eliminate you real quickly. There you go. Look at that! Upgrading all of my allies with all of those Sage's Wills has paid off because they were the ones that landed the final blow on that Lionel. And I got a picture of it for the Hyrule Compendium, so that's one less photo I have to buy from Robbie. Oh, and these are all sorts of weapons that I never got photos of, apparently, or the bow was. Or, yeah, I guess I just never fought a basic Lionel. I guess, as a result, I never got a basic Lionel bow or a Lionel shield, so I'll get photos of those in a bit. You're up next, buddy. Bring it on! Oh, why am I crouching? Did I really click on the stick? That looks really weird to dodge. I did not mean to crouch. That was absolutely a mistake. Here. That's it. I'm fusing stuff. So, we got plenty of Gleeok wings. We're using them. Bring it on. Why am I still crouching? That time I absolutely did not click on the stick again. That time I absolutely did not. Did I just not get up previously? Give me a moment. Okay. Fuse. Thank you. All right, bring it on. This is not what I thought I was going to be doing in this part. And I especially did not think that this part was going to go on for this long. No, this is gonna be a mess to edit. Oh, no, what? Mineru, I'm not trying to be atop you. Thank you. Okay, thanks for taking the hit, Mineru. All right, here we go. It's fine. So far, the damage he's doing to me is just corrupting my already depleted heart, so I'm not even worried. Does it look like I'm worried? Because I'm not. I was just like confused as to why Link was crouching. Oh, okay. Not even worried. All right, I'm gonna crush this, here we go. See, even got that flurry rush. And I'm better at getting flurry rushes against you than any other enemy in the game, because although you're a super powerful enemy, your attacks are more choreographed than every other boss I fight. And plus, I played Punch-Out for the Wii, so that's what it's all about. Look at that! Got another flurry rush at 60 frames a second! See, not even worried. Bring it on, dude. Boom. Okay, I'll use the rest of my Master Sword. That's what it's for. For slaying beasts such as yourself. Although I will need to go ahead and fuse another material to this weapon so I can actually do these fights more efficiently than I would otherwise. So boom, drop. Dude, what is going on? Well, not that I want to start insulting the game, but it's situations like these that really show you how clunky some of these controls are. Keep standing on the back of Mineru, can't even fuse my weapons together. Golly, but it's fine. It's fine. Up. This game's all about inconvenience at times. I already talked about how inconvenient it is to use the mobile app while you do this. All right. Actually, in hindsight, using the mobile app probably would have helped me find some of these old maps more quickly. Oh my goodness. Maybe. Would help me find the Koroxes more easily. And there you go! My allies landed the final blow once again. Very good. Is that it, or is there one more? Because usually these things come in waves of 3. There's one more. Okay. All right, I'm taking all that stuff, though. I could gladly do with the extra arrows and the extra... Oh, I'm actually full on bows? I guess that's one thing I could have been doing, is I could have been shooting this enemy in the face, but... All right, then I guess I gotta drop a bow. So we will drop... I guess we'll just drop that one. I know the Lionel bow, the default one, is pretty weak, but I would like to have it. And I would like to take a picture with it later. I already got a picture with you. Okay, got it. Yeah, you're just a regular old Lionel. Well, you're not a regular old Lionel, that was the first one, but you are a Lionel. I fought plenty of Lionels in the past. You are not any more significant. There you go. That's right, I said it. The only problem is I'm using a two-handed weapon, so I'd really got to get that flurry rush if I want to deal damage to you and be able to evacuate afterward. I want to be able to damage you and then live to tell the tale. Okay, we run, we're running, great. There you go, and we spin. Nope, nope, that's not really gonna work against you, huh? That only works on slower enemies, but you like to move. But you are slow enough to where I can, well, shield your attacks at least, but I was gonna try and dodge it. Let's go. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I'm wondering if backflipping there actually made things worse. Okay, nope, I'm fine. Easy. Easy fight. I don't know why Nintendo insists on making so many easy games. Oh man, why are Lionels so easy? Can't you give me a challenge? Look at this, there's that flurry rush. Oh man, check this out! Now I can deal all sorts of damage to you, and I can actually see your health bar going down slowly but surely. Probably could have gotten another hit or two in there, but it's fine. It's fine. Last thing I need is comments being like, oh, Yoshiller, you messed up your Lionel fight, as I get like 3 flurry rushes in a row. And I acknowledge that there are definitely more optimal ways to do this, but I'll be fine. Oh, good hit, Tulin! Great hit! All right, we're gonna spin this around and then do this attack that I wanted to do earlier. Awesome job, Tulin, this is all because of you! Chaining these attacks together, and I think its health is halfway down now. Let's see. Yeah, I too could be using my arrows, but why do that when I can get all these flurry rushes and totally optimize my handheld weapons and not my bow and arrow? Let's see. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Come at me. And if we jump at the last second, we can get the flurry rush again and deal massive damage. Plus, this is gonna deal a lot more damage than me just hitting it in the face over and over with the bow and arrow. And Tulin's already on top of it. Now I'm literally on top of it. Now I can really slam you in, check this out. Does that deal more damage than just standing to the side and hitting you naturally? I'm not sure, but it's satisfying to do. Oh, I better leave. It's okay, I got one little stabby stab on it. And my allies are already on it. So glad I upgraded them before I came into this arena though. I did not think I was gonna be fighting a Lionel, let alone 3 in this video today. Golly, there you go. All right, I'm ready for you. Okay, got my shield out. We're good. Okay, I probably could go in and do a slash, maybe not. And hoppa! It's fine! I am on top of it with these flurry rushes, folks. Hopefully it demonstrates how much I've evolved as a player since the beginning of not just Tears of the Kingdom, but also the beginning of Breath of the Wild. Because that's relevant in this video. Because I played Breath of the Wild for like 2 minutes and I rode around on a motorcycle. There you go. Alright. But yes, I could be using bow and arrow. I could. Oof! There goes my shield. You broke a Lionel shield. These things are strong enough to break their own shields. Crazy. There you go. That's fine. Figure I'll save my arrows. Could stand to use up my bows. I already demonstrated that I was full up on bows. But I'm glad I'm going to... Another one? How many... This better be the last one. Okay, I'm done. I was willing to fight 3, but 4? Now you're pushing it. And I can't even pick up the bow. Maybe I better get the bow. There's got to be another bow that I don't need. All right. Let's see. I mean, the royal bows are nice, but I can get rid of one of these, like, weaker ones. Nah, I'll get rid of the Zora bow. That's what everyone else would probably do, right? All right, there we go. I can always get another Zora bow. I can tap in the Sidon amiibo again. Or if my friend wants the amiibo back, I'll give him the... I'll tap in a Mifa amiibo or something. But for right now... Hoppa! Oh, nope, no flurry rush that time. Are you a different type of Lionel? Are you one that I haven't seen previously? Nope, you're a silver Lionel. Very well then. Let's see what we got. And hoppa! We got the flurry rush, that's what! Boom! Boom! Alright, dude, I gotta wrap this up because this video's already gonna be like an hour and a half long, and I was just supposed to get like 1 or 2 more armor parts. And while it has been nice to fight these Lionels back to back to back to back with the 60 frames per second enhancements, I'm ready to move on. I thought I was done making these hour-long, 2-hour-long Tears of the Kingdom videos. But I guess we have another one on our hands. Because I didn't know that I was gonna have to go to another Coliseum for this armor part. Dude, if this turns out to just be the miner's torso, that's gonna be ridiculous. This better be like one heck of an armor upgrade. Like, your character just turns invisible. Wouldn't put it past him, that's what they did in Mario Odyssey. Okay. Oh, this wasn't as efficient as I thought. That's okay. I just didn't want to waste the bow, but at least it gives me some range, and it makes my weapon a little bit stronger. All right. Well, this way I got a one-handed weapon, so I can actually like try to strike you down. Oh, okay. So here, now I can actually get a few more hits in. So I don't have to worry about lugging that two-handed one around. There you go. All right, come on. I'm good. See, because now I can do this. It's not dealing a ton of damage. Okay, I should have been better about this. It's fine. I'll use up this weapon. I'll switch to something else, and if I have to, I'll fuse it with a stronger monster part. I will be fine. Once again, not even worried. Nope. Did you see all those flurry rushes I got earlier? I'll be fine. I'll get another one right here, watch. Okay, sorry. I've been known to be wrong occasionally. But I will get another one before this fight's over. That much it's almost guaranteed. Here, boom. See? Right there! I've been known to be correct occasionally! Here we go, boom, 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 thank you. Let's get it, okay? If you're ready, Lionel, then I'm ready. Boom. All right, well, there, now I could actually like stab you in the face and get a flurry rush, there we go. We're going. Yeah, I'm gonna use the rest of this weapon and then I'll probably switch back to the two-handed one. It's just this weapon is so weak that even getting the flurry rushes, I see your health going down, but it's like barely going down. Woo! You just headbutt Mineru, good job. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm going back to the two-handed weapon. Flurry rush right here, ready? Yeah, gotta really do it at the last second. Have some courage, man! Link is Team Courage, and I was Team Courage in that Splatoon 3 Splatfest, and I will keep mentioning it because I got a t-shirt for being in that Splatfest. So now I gotta live up to it. Gotta live up to Team Courage. Because you can be powerful, you can be wise, you can be courageous. And I'll tell you, I'm already not that smart and I'm already not that strong. But I wouldn't call myself that much of a coward. All right, here we go. I say as I run away from this Lionel's explosion, but that is the more tactical thing. Look, being courageous means you can still be scared. It just means you do stuff even though you are scared. Here, finally using my bow and arrows, okay? How's that? All right, so now we'll do this. Okay, oh, okay. Oh, no, I just broke the bow on it. Well, that's fine. Here, oh, there we go, we got the flurry rush. There's nothing attached to this weapon right now, so I'll just use up the rest of it, boom. Okay, now what I need, yeah, I guess we could stand to do a spear. All right, so we got the spear. Let's go ahead and get a nice, powerful thing to attach to it. So another Gleeok wing, yes please. And a spear will be good because it gives me range. And even though it's a two-handed weapon, it's as fast as a one-handed one. There we go. Yeah, there you go. There, and I get the flurry rushes still, very good. I just want to make sure I'm not stuck using a two-handed weapon where I can really only damage you through a flurry rush. There you go. This gives me more times to strike you and I can hopefully expedite the process of defeating you. Okay? Very, very good. All right, come at me. And then at the last second we can do boom, and now I can thrust this towards you. There you go, stab. Keep it going, get some extra hits in there before he strikes again. Boom, and another flurry rush. We are just chaining those flurry rushes. This is starting to become progressively more optimal now that I'm not just swinging a heavy sword around. I got a spear with a dragon wing attached to it. And we can see his health go down, woo! Used up the last of that spear. These things are really using up my weapons too, and thankfully they drop weapons when you defeat them, but man, that's really exhausting my resource. Another one! Are you freaking kidding me? Why are there so many? I know it's a Coliseum, but golly, this has to be the toughest Coliseum. It's 5 Lionels! I already have a picture of this one. 5 Lionels, dude! Are you for real? Okay, hang on, I'm gonna need another weapon. I'm gonna need another weapon, and I'm gonna need something powerful to put to it. We'll put the... I guess I could put a Lionel horn on it, right? Let's see, which one do I want to do? I'm hesitant to put a Lionel horn on it, though, because I know I'm going to need some of those to upgrade armor. Boss Bokoblin, no. Alright, because I'm probably about to get another one from this fight, right? And oh, frick! Now, I was about to say, I guess if I really need 1 or 2 more, I could probably transfer them over from Breath of the Wild, frick! So I'm using up my fairy. Oh, okay, I was gonna say. I had no idea how that was gonna work. Okay, so I've had these foods in my inventory for a while. Let's go ahead and finally utilize them. So get rid of all my gloom hearts, and then I can eat a regular meal afterward. And I know, I said when I was fighting these Lionels, I didn't want to have to heal, but it's gonna be a lot better for me to do this than for me to lose and then go back through it all again, all right? And plus it finally gives me a reason to use those, oh frick. It finally gave me a reason to eat that gloom restoration food. So, here we go. Oh, this Lionel has armor on it. That means I gotta use one of my Rocky weapons, something with a blunt object at the end. Okay, so in that case, I'll keep that on, and then we want this. Okay, this isn't gonna be that strong. Golly, dude, 4 Lionels, and then the last one has rock armor on it. This has to be the hardest Coliseum. So I did another one, I think when I got the Korok mask, where I fought Hinoxes. This is more. What is gonna be in the treasure chest here? Because this is absurd. Ah, come on. All right, there we go. I got the Flurry Rush at least, so hopefully I can just smash this against you, get rid of the armor, and they can switch to any other weapon. There goes my rock hammer. And you still have your armor on you, but I have one more rocky weapon, right? Yeah. Oh man, I am so glad that I fused that boulder to the sword earlier when I was getting that other armor part, because now it's actually coming in clutch. Glad I went for it, and I'm glad I got the Flurry Rush, but that one I wasn't even really going for. Oh frick, he still has a little bit of armor. Am I able to use this to get the rest, or can I use the Lionel Reaper? Oh, no, my allies got it. That is perfect timing. Thank you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and ride this bad boy and stab my sword into the back of him. Okay, there we go. Get a couple more hits on there. See, you broke your own shields, but now I'm using your own body parts to defeat you. How do you like that? Using literally what you gave me to defeat you, which I think is the point of this Coliseum, because you're fighting freaking Lionels! So they want you to use the weapons from the Lionels and the parts from the Lionels to deal enough damage to fly through this. Okay. Dude, this is gonna take so long that my Master Sword's gonna be restored by the time this is over. Alright. Well, I guess that's only a good thing. There we go, got the Flurry Rush. We'll gladly take the Flurry Rushes right about now. And I'm glad I'm getting them, because I don't normally fight enemies and go for a Flurry Rush. I really only go for these against Lionels. So the fact that I can do it and get footage of it in the Switch 2 edition is pretty fantastic, to be honest. Okay, oh, why am I crouching again? I'm always crouching. Am I really clicking in the stick that much? Because it doesn't feel like I am. I'm gonna be real with you, but I must be. I must be, like, I'm gripping onto the controller and I must be clicking in the stick at some point. There you go. Oh, we're good, we're good. Nope, not getting hit by that headbutt. Those horns on you are gonna hurt. I know, because I'm using your horns to strike you down right now. There you go, boom. Well, not your exact horns, but the horns of your brethren, so to speak. All right, boom, boom. All right, so I'm about to use the last of my Reaper, so be it. Let me get one last Flurry Rush to finish you off, huh? Come on down. All right, he's coming, he's coming. Didn't get the Flurry Rush. Maybe, okay, you know what? Maybe the Flurry Rush right now isn't great because I still need to get another weapon out. So we'll do this. Oh, okay. Do I have time to fuse an item to it? Let me see. I guess we can just do, I don't want to do another Lionel Horn though. I can, oh, hang on. All right, I'll do another Gleeok Wing, give me one moment. I don't think I'll need 40 of these to upgrade my armor in the future, so we'll fuse that. Oh, I'm okay. All right, I'm ready for the Flurry Rush. I'm ready if you're ready. Oh, not yet. Give me one last Flurry Rush to finish this off, and then I'll wail on you with this Gleeok Wing. How about that? That's gonna hurt, yep. Oh, I don't wanna have to eat more food. I'm just gonna have to do this. I think I'm out of fairies though, so if I lose, oh, it's gonna be so embarrassing, and I don't want that. Here we go, I can get it. This is my chance. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, you know what? If I defeat you, then I don't need a Flurry Rush. Oh! I had one more fairy. I had one more fairy, and my allies were the ones to get the final strike. Once again, those Sage's Wills coming in clutch. Golly, dude! The music slowed down. That's the last one. The red aura around this treasure chest has disappeared. Enough of that. Take all of that. Thank you. Thank you. And sure, I'll take the Savage Lionel Bow. Give me just a moment. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, grabbing that. Very good. Okay. What was being guarded by 5 Lionels of all things? Oh. Well, it's not a particularly powerful mask, at least not in this game, but it is a significant mask as far as the Zelda series is concerned. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. But I am exhausted. I've been recording for like 2 hours and I didn't think a round of Lionels was gonna be one of the things I had to do. I guess I should be glad that I didn't have to fight 2 Lionels at the same time. I don't know if this game would let you fight 2 Lionels at the same time. I'm trying to remember if the Breath of the Wild DLC did that. You had to fight Lionels and Guardians at the same time. I don't ever think it was 2 Lionels. All right, I'm gonna grab this big old stash of Poe that's over here, and then I'm gonna move on. But there you go, that's one of the treasures I never obtained. I don't blame myself for missing the old map in the past, and I especially don't blame myself for having not collected the treasure from it in the past. But there, now I've got Majora's Mask. Whoop-de-doo, I'm tired. But it's done, and I got a bunch of Lionel parts now, so that's nice. All right, there is another old map just over here that I never obtained previously. Oh, I am restoring hearts and losing hearts at the same time. How neat is that? I was gonna say how cool is that, and I like stopped myself right before I was gonna say it because I know how easy of a pun that is. All right, so I marked this little island right here. All right, I guess I just never went to it because there's no shrine on it. I think that really is all it is. But if there's just a treasure chest sitting right here and it has an old map in it, then I will gladly collect it right here and now. So let's see what we've got. This is, ba-ba-da-ba. Why? It's an old map, of course! That's the whole point of this section of the video that's gone on for like 2 hours now. And this will mark an area also near the center. Okay, very good. So I'll warp over there right about now. Okay, let me go ahead and get out of here before the cold kills me. And then we'll go right there. Very good. So I'll go ahead and travel over to this destination. This should be pretty easy. As long as I'm not fighting 5 Lionels, I imagine getting all of the treasures from these old maps will be decently easy. But let's see what we can do, huh? All right, here we are. All right, at the Iasus Light Route, there should be something nearby. Oh, there's a campfire nearby. Interesting. And a statue nearby. Also interesting. Okay, but what we need is going to be right over here. All right, use a little bit of Tulin's Wind, very good. All right, head it on down a bit, and then there should be just a treasure chest sitting somewhere over here. I think. I don't know, you can enjoy me gliding around with the Sidon fabric. Ooh, the Daphnes Canyon Mine. Yet another location that I had never explored previously, and I'm only exploring it now because of my quest to find Sage's Wills and old maps. And obviously at any time I could have just wandered over here anyway while I was exploring the depth, but it was the old map that pointed me toward this treasure chest. And I'm appreciative of that. Let's see what we got. The Miner's Top, yay! I finally have the entirety of the Miner attire. Oh, that's right, I still have Majora's Mask on. I can go ahead and put the whole outfit on. For the longest time, I had the Miner's Mask, but never the other stuff. But now, I can wear the whole kit. Interesting that my head is a lot more guarded than the rest of my body. I mean, I guess that would be normal if you're wearing any helmet, but it's just weird that, like, my torso is so exposed. Yeah, this could have been its own video. Because now I foresee a situation where, like, I'll have one part of this video that's going to be a lot shorter than it probably needs to be, and maybe my Switch 2 stuff could have gone there, but the Switch 2 is out now, darn it! And I wanted to utilize the fact that I could play the game at 60 frames per second now, so... Oh well, I just feel weird that this is taking so long, and I didn't want it to have to take this long. I thought I was done with videos that were tedious like this, but alas, here we are. And I already know that the part where I upgrade my armor might be a little tedious as well, because I'm gonna have to get like dragon fangs and whatever. But anyway, I can already see the treasure chest that I need to get. It's one of the old classic old maps. I just have to shoot this treasure chest down. Now, does it line up with that floating platform beneath it? I sure hope it does. Let me see. Boom. There you go, and I got the Lionel bow out, so it's actually firing 3 arrows. And perfect! It does line up. Thank goodness. Thank you, designers and developers, for making this treasure chest relatively easy to obtain. Okay, so that's just the old map. I could have found the treasure without the old map, and that's what I've done for the majority of these, but that's probably 50-50 at this point. I probably found half through the old map, half without the old map. But okay, there's that one. Great, so we can remove this marker here, and then we can go down to this one. Oh, actually, that's not where it just put on the map, is it? This is a different treasure that's been sitting on the map the entire time, and I've never collected it prior. Well then fine. I'll go ahead and get it now. So here, let me climb up the wall this way so I can reach a more stationary elevation. And then I'll make my way to the right. And then my red marker, where did I put my red marker? Oh, I think it's back in the sky, right? Let me see. Okay, we'll get rid of that real quick. Okay, so back over, oh, that was probably for a treasure that I already got. Okay, so go right here. All right, to the red mark! Away! Let's get it. All right, the red Sam Grove. Now we're gonna pass you. Okay, the treasure chest is gonna be on this little plateau here. But I can do that. That's easy. Here, right up top, boom, boom, Yeah, these markers from the old map are pretty accurate in their precision. It's like a sword getting slammed into the ground. Okay, got a picture of you. This is the treasure chest here. What have we got? What treasure did I never obtain all that time ago? Cap of the Sky. Don't recall if I got that through amiibo or not previously, but the fact of the matter is, I have it now, and this is how you would get it without amiibo. Great, but that's not the one that got marked from the old map I just got. That one's been sitting there. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna, because I've already messed up the order of things, I'm gonna go up here at the Ga-Hisa Shrine and sail over to get the old maps from these two locations, red and blue, and then I'm gonna send myself back down to the depths, and then I'll get those treasures basically kind of all at the same time or something. All right, I don't know. I've already messed stuff up. That's what happens when I record for so long. It becomes more probable that I mess stuff up. And the other big thing is that this video has kind of become 2 videos merged into one. It became the Switch 2 video that went on for like an hour, and then I thought the old maps and the Sage's Wills were gonna be pretty quick, and now this has gone on for like 2 hours. So whatever, it is what it is, but it's gonna get done. It'll all get done eventually. That's kind of been the motto for this walkthrough. Like, it will get done. I'm in too deep now, so I can cost fallacy and all that. It will get done eventually. And I'm closer to being done with this entire game than ever before, so let's go ahead and do it. So we're gonna go toward the red marker here. I think I was just over here to get a Sage's Will or something, wasn't I? Oh man, all my memories are blending together now. That's what happens when it takes me 2 years to beat the game. Or complete it, rather. Well, I guess I haven't beaten it either, but it takes me 2 years to beat / complete the game. Oh man, I don't wanna die to this. That would be so embarrassing, dude. All right, let's see, what do we got? Sure, I'll just consume those real quickly. I'm gonna have a designated cooking part where I cook all the recipes that I'm missing in like 2 or 3 parts, so that's coming up. Don't you worry about that, but for right now, it's about the Sage's Wills and the old maps, and the Sage's Wills are done, so now it's mapping time. All right, so if I drop down here, I can get that frog, right? Not that I have to get all the frogs, but I'm gonna get, oh, there's fairies here. No, I could use the fairies because those Lionels smacked me up so hard that I used up all my fairies, and now I'm afraid I'm gonna make one small mistake and then I'm just gonna die. Well, I can try and get that fairy. Even though I'm about to be an overpowered mess, if I'm not an overpowered mess already, it's still good to have a fairy on hand because even overpowered messes can make mistakes. The biggest mistake is thinking that you won't make a mistake. All right. Oh, there's another fairy over here. Good. I was looking for a second one. Great. I'll just take the 2. I don't think I need 3 right now. Frankly, as long as I have a fairy, I should be fine, but I will go ahead and collect this one as well. Thank you. Okay. Back to the matter at hand is the treasure chest gonna be in the water here. It brings back memories of Breath of the Wild when there would be a treasure chest just randomly in the water and then I'd have to use Cryonis to get myself to the treasure chest and then use Magnesis to fish it out. But here, we just use Ultra Hand. Very good. So there's the old map. Where is it marking? Oh, all the way in the bottom left corner. Okay, I kind of want to get it now. Then get it now, I shall. Okay, let's get it. All the way in the lower left corner here. Okay, so I guess I'll warp to this spot, and I'll make my way over there. That's got to be the most efficient option, right? There's not like a place where... There's not like a hole on basic Hyrule where I can drop down into the depths, right? There's no cave that's going to get me down there. So we'll just walk. We'll walk it. I could make something using Ultra Hand, or sorry, Auto Build or whatever, but no, we're gonna walk it. All right. Thankfully, I've already conquered this Coliseum, I'm fairly certain. And while I could go around it, I'm gonna go over it. All right, because I get over my problems, not around them. So here we go. I'd go through it, but that would require me to go around it because the entrance I think is probably gonna be on the other side. But yes, the Desert Coliseum. Don't know how many Coliseums are in the depths, but I found another one in this very part, and I did this one a long time ago. But now I get to revisit the Desert Coliseums in the Switch 2 version of the game, and you know what that means? Yes, the frame rate is higher than usual. It is beyond 30. Quite nice. Especially for a Zelda title. I think only the handheld Zelda games have ever been 60 frames per second. Well, that's not true. The NES and SNES games have been 60, I'm pretty sure. And I guess you could argue that this is a handheld title, haha. But, nah. Actually, is Four Swords Adventures for the GameCube at 60 frames per second? I think so. And that's kind of like a half console, half handheld title, right? I believe so. But yeah, then you get stuff like the Game Boy, Link's Awakening, and Oh, well, then hang on. Because I think the Switch version of Link's Awakening does run at 60 frames per second. And I know it has its frame drop problems, but I otherwise think it runs at 60. Oh my god, I don't want to... I already fought Gloom Hands earlier in this part. I'd like to get a move on. This is not necessary. No. No, this is not necessary. Here, let me change shields in case I want to shield surf. All right, no, I'm good. Thank you. I already slayed you guys. No, we're good. If I go up, okay, I'm just trying to leave. Can you just like not leave? Is that not possible? At some point, you're gonna reach your perimeter, right? Yeah, good riddance. I got it, okay. You're like a bear, like climbing up a tree is not the answer. Okay, well first let's get rid of my pin. Okay, let's head over in this direction. Let's grab a couple of Poes along the way. Hey, it may be inevitable. I might have to fight the Gloom Hands. But I don't want to have to. I want to keep moving. No, I think I'm fine. I'll walk through this gloom and corrupt some of my hearts, but I don't want to fight the Gloom Hands right now. Maybe later. Maybe. We're good. The music has stopped, which means the Gloom Hands have stopped. Very good. Yeah, it's dark up here. I have not explored this place previously. Ooh, with the Lionel, I get 3 times the light, sorta. It's really all in one place, so it's just kind of a little further than it would have been, but whatever. Yeah, haven't been over here previously. Nice. Now, where's the treasure? Oh, well, hang on. Are you a Horriblin? Is that a Horriblin here? Yes, it is. All right, bring it on, buddy. No, whatever. You made me waste an arrow! No! That's okay, taking you out is good anyway, because you drop parts that are actually quite powerful when I fuse them to weapons, and I might need some of those parts to upgrade armor in the future anyway. And then once I'm done upgrading the armor, then I'll once again use those parts to fuse to weapons! Here we go. So all the more reason to have them, and I got the Rusty Claymore Halberd. Great. All right, cool. Got my Horriblin stuff. Let's see. So, oh, I'm at, like, the underground equivalent of the Elden Great Skeleton. Sorry. Gerudo Great Skeleton, right? And the treasure chest is right here. I actually didn't know it was going to be right here. I was just trying to go up. So I'm glad I found it. Tunic of the Wild. Awesome. Awesome. So I think I had the Cap of the Wild. Now I have the Tunic of the Wild. So I'm just missing the Trousers of the Wild, right? Then I'll have the full Breath of the Wild gear. Very good. All right, back to the shrine I was just at. But this time we're going to go to another marker that I set over here. All right, here we go. Boom. Up. An atom. Great. No, no, not great. Not great. Go back. Abort. All right, once more. All right, up here. Great. To the top. And that'll do. All right. And then we will go up here. All right, very good. And boom. Okay, so now what I think I should do is I should construct another device using auto build to get to my destination, because I think this is going to be another destination that's going to be higher than usual, right? If I'm looking out this way, oh no, it's not going to be that island. Let me double check. If it is that island, then great. Oh, it is that island. Okay, well, even so, having some extra elevation is certainly welcome. So I might use auto build to construct a device that already has a rocket attached to it. So let's do that. Right? Is there anything I've done recently that just has a rocket on it? No, actually, I don't think I want to use this. Hey! Can't you see I'm trying to auto build something? Give me just a moment. Let's go. Thank you. All right. So we've got... need something with a rocket. Oh, that'll work. Rocket platform. Perfect. 15 for this thing? 15 for this. I feel like it's only 18 for the hot air balloon contraption, and that has like 6 things on it. I guess it's because it has the battery on it. Yeah, I guess I could have done without the battery. Whatever. It gave me extra elevation, and I can get some more zonite. I've been visiting all of those mines down in the depths that I guess I never explored previously, so if I truly need additional zonite, I can just go over to those locations. Okay? For now, I have more than enough elevation to get to this location, so I'll start descending in just a moment. There you go. Extra little gust of wind to help expedite this process. Thank you, Tulin. Okay. And then, almost there. Yep. Once again, don't blame myself for not having gotten this old map in the past. A little bit out of the way, there's no shrine on it. But it's all coming together why these islands are even here, because they're not all just decoration. They have stuff on them, and I just didn't care if they didn't have shrines. And then I went back around to get the Korok seeds, and now I'm doing that. There we go. Okay, so there's finally another armor part that the old map is leading me toward that's in a location that is close to the other armor part. So I'll get both of these at the same time. Is that another Coliseum? Is there another Coliseum that I've never done? Well, as long as it's not 5 Lionels, as long as it's not even Lionels, we're fine. If it's 1 Lionel, so be it. But 5, that was a bit much. That had to have been the toughest Coliseum. Maybe it's for the better that I didn't do it previously and I only did it now. All right, I'm on fire. That's right, I'm in the volcano portion of the map. So let me go ahead and put on my flame-resistant gear. So we're gonna change. No, I don't want to use that. I want to use this shield, the one I got for fighting the Lionels. Plus, I never got a picture of it, so I will do that in just a moment. For now, let me put on my flame-resistant gear. I will especially need that because apparently I'm about to go to another Coliseum where I'll be fighting more enemies, so I don't want to be slowly getting hurt by the flames around me. All right, let's go ahead and get a picture. And it looks like I'm still on fire. I'll deal with that in a moment. Picture first. It's one last picture that I'll have to buy from Robbie, which I might do in the next part. I might just buy any remaining photos for the Hyrule Compendium in the next part. But for now, why am I still on fire? What's burning? Oh, just my regular basic weapon. Okay, fine. We'll get this going, okay? And then, I need to make sure I'm going the right direction. And then, I need to cook some food. So let's go ahead and pull open the cooking pot. Okay, thank you. All right, and then we'll go ahead and... I need to cook. I got some fish earlier, right? I can cook one of the fishies. Let's see. And there you go, hearty salmon, perfect. That'll make a full recovery. I'll consume that, then I'll head over to the Coliseum. Boom, thank you. All right. So now, we're ready to roll. All right, I got maximum hearts. With any luck, I won't even lose a heart. And then we'll head toward the Coliseum, right? That's what it was. That's what it looked like on the map. As long as I don't go plummeting into the lava here, I ought to be fine. I've got maximum hearts, plus 2 extra hearts. All these powerful weapons. My allies have all been upgraded. I've got extra food that I can consume to restore more hearts. I don't foresee there being an issue. I just don't want it to be more Lionels, because that took way too long. I think that would have to be the toughest one. I think they wanted it to be a big deal that I got Majora's Mask, right? Okay, here, let me see. Let's go ahead and fuse... Gleeok Frosthorn. We'll do the Frosthorn. Because I'm in a fiery area, I could see it giving me fiery enemies, so this would be super effective against them, right? Which is the opposite of what Pokemon would dictate, but whatever. Okay. And then do I want another rocky weapon? I kind of do. That proved to be useful in the past. Here. All right, so we'll get it with this one. I mean, I guess I do have the spike ball, but whatever. Extra rocky weapon for when I smash open more ore deposits, because I might have to do that in the next part too if I want to have all of the necessary materials to upgrade my stuff. Scorching Coliseum. So that's 2 Coliseums in this part that I never explored previously, and then I explored like 2 different mining areas. So really, because I went straight for the light roots in the depths, I missed out on quite a bit, and because there aren't Korok seeds down here, I wasn't really incentivized to find more stuff. But we have the next best thing. In fact, I would argue that these are better than Korok seeds because I get immediate stuff from it. It's armor that makes me look cool, and I can upgrade it to be even stronger. Oh, just Moblins? Oh, that's so much better. Oh, you guys have no idea how happy and relieved I am to see you. Okay, boom. Easy. I'm not even using the weapon I just fused together. And sure, I could use some extra Moblin parts. That stuff is handy for making elixirs and whatnot, and I got a rock hammer for my troubles. There you go, boom. Frost Gleeok coming in clutch. In fact, it's not even clutch because it's so easy. There you go, boom. Open up those doors, grab all of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, got a Soldier's Claymore as well. Okay, boom, got you. Right, none of you, oh, hey, you're zigging and you're zagging. You're like an alligator, or what you're supposed to do to an alligator. I don't know. Even so. Okay, there you go, boom, thank you. Got it. All right, and boom, got it. Thank you. Okay, and now that leaves the Silver Moblin here. You'll have a bit more health, but again, not even worried. Boom, critical hits directly in the face, and it's just one of you? Fine with me, the sooner, oh, okay, good hit, you got rid of my bonus hearts. You got it more quickly than I expected. But still, the sooner I eliminate you, the better. There we go, up, there we go, yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, boom, 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 yes, 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 yes. And done, all right. Okay, is this the final wave of Moblins? Because before I was just fighting red Moblins, and then there was one isolated silver Moblin, and now there's a bunch of Moblins and a silver one. So be it, this will be easy. Okay, here, I'm just gonna keep spinning around because it keeps freezing you. So I don't see why I can't just do this and destroy all of you right here, right now. Boom, great. Check out this footage of the Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom, huh? Silver Moblin's down. Oh, my blade's about to break. Okay, oh, nope, I did not mean to get on the back of Mineru. That is fine. All right, I'll grab all this stuff though, that much is nice. Okay, nope. I'd like to get a Flurry Rush. Oh, Doesn't matter. It looks like looks like my allies are just willing to be done with this too, and I'm fine with that. All right, was that it? That is it. All right, because my blade is about to break, I may as well just chuck it. I probably could have chucked it at the enemy to win, but it's fine. Got some Moblin Guts too. Moblin Guts are a bit of a rare drop, so glad I got those. And some Zonite to make up for all the Zonite I've been using across this video, this very video. I'm thankful that I got extra Zonite for defeating all the Froxes while I was trying to hunt down all the monster medals, but yeah. Once I upgrade all of my armor, I can be so careless with my materials. But for now, I gotta hang on to stuff, because otherwise it's just gonna cost me a lot of time in the next part. Claymore. Interesting, we'll get rid of that. Boom. Kinda looks cool to throw that. Oh, this is a long weapon, because it's two weapons stitched together. It's got quite the power to it. We'll save that for a different time. For now, what was being guarded here? Zant's helmet! That's an interesting one. I don't even think this was in Breath of the Wild. I think that's only in this game, so that's a new one. Majora's Mask, I'm fairly certain, was in Breath of the Wild, but not Zant's helmet. It makes you unfreezable. An interesting secondary effect to have on that armor when it's in the volcanic region of the map, but whatever. All right, let's go ahead and get this one here. And then this should be the last one. I'm fairly certain this is the last armor piece I need because I got all the mining gear. I got random one-off things like Majora's Mask and Zant's helmet, right? Like there isn't a Zant's armor, just Zant's helmet. Majora's Mask, there isn't a Majora's tunic, Majora's trousers. I think this is the last one. Okay, so now we're at the Elden skeleton, but it's in the depths. So that leads me to believe that if it's anything like the Gerudo skeleton, the treasure chest is gonna be on the bones here. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and track it down. Oh, are there gonna be gloom hands here? Are there gonna be gloom hands here? Oh, nope, I think I'm okay. Great. Then that will make it easier and faster for me to actually just go ahead and get the treasure chest. And I'm willing to bet you it might just be like at the top. Oh, there are gloom hands here. Okay, you know what, fine. This time I'll fight them. This time I will fight. There you go. All right, I've got so much. Oh, Tulin, great hits on you. This time, oh, okay, I'm going. I don't know if it's the most efficient way to mash, but I just rotate my analog stick in a circle every time I do that. There you go. Nope. I mean, I could do like the smash with this mashing and like really hit my controls, but I really just want to get out of this. Let's go. Come on, let's go. All right, I'm choosing to fight you. Let's be done with this. Woo, the spinny attack with the two-handed weapon is not the way, huh? Very well then. Oh, actually, now might be the time. Here we go. We spin! Here you go. Thank you. All right, and now we gotta do the actual Phantom Ganon portion of this fight. Bring it on, buddy. I'm ready for you. All right, I fought Lionels, Moblins. I even fought a Horriblin in this part. And I already fought other Gloom Hands in this part. I'm ready for you. All right, bring it on. I really do not need to do this fight. I really don't, especially since I already fought one of you earlier. Oh, frick. I was trying to go for a Flurry Rush. I don't think I ever have gone for a Flurry Rush against you. Let's see. Got it this time, though. First time for everything. And I'm glad that I could accomplish such a task here in the Switch 2 version of the game so you can really see all those beautiful frames. All right. Oh, Are you switching your hand in this? Or are you like switching the way you swing the sword around? I think that's... But yeah, okay, you're not switching your hand in this. You're right-handed no matter what, but you're switching the direction in which you swing the sword. So I think I'm better when it's like on your left side. See, when it's on his left side, I can do it. Okay, here, come on. Ready? Do like a back swing. Oh, okay, nope, I can do it when he does his regular swing. We got it. This ought to be the end. 2, 3, and one last blow. Boom. Thank you. Do not need that Gloom Sword, especially since I am now maxed out on melee weapons. And it could be useful to have another Gloom Sword in place of a different weapon, but I think just having the one Gloom Sword is more than fine. All right, let's go ahead and collect these Poes. Let's go ahead and get the treasure chest. Let's get the armor that's within the treasure chest, and let's be done. All right, very good. All right, that's it right there. It's on the bone here in the back. All right, what's the last armor piece I need? Trousers of the Wild. Okay, yeah, that's the last one. I have them all. And I'll tell you what, to celebrate, I'll go ahead and put all of it on. All right, so there are my Trousers of the Wild. Let's go ahead and categorize this by set. Boom. Look at that. I even have duplicates of some of these. Whew. Folks, I am enjoying my time with this game, but it's gonna feel so good when the walkthrough's over. What do you say we end this at Link's house? And I do mean his former house. Not the house that he has near Tarrytown or Tarrytown, but the house that was his that Princess Zelda occupied and took over. Because I made a big deal about that earlier in this part when I booted up Breath of the Wild. So it feels like a nice full circle moment to come back to his house, or his former house in Tears of the Kingdom. This is the wrong location. I meant to... This is Kakariko Village. I meant to go to Hateno Village, sorry. That's fine, I could make use of my time here. We had a blood moon happen in this part, right? So that means these shops should be restocked. So I'll buy some more arrows while I'm here. And I'll buy the Arakuda eyeballs and wings while I'm here too, because they are easy to get here, and I foresee myself needing Arakuda eyeballs to upgrade some equipment, so great. There are some arrows. I know I have a bunch of arrows. I'm gonna be at over 200 in just a moment, so this will be nice. Thank you. Great. We'll gladly take those. All right, Arakuda eyeballs. So I exhausted all of these to fight all the Gleeoks. Fly through those. You'll fly through your arrows too, so best to hang on to those. All right. Now we'll go to Hateno Village, which is right over here. Great. We'll go to my previous house. But yes, this attire that I'm wearing, the Tunic of the Wild, the Cap of the Wild, the Trousers of the Wild, the full set of the Wild, this is basically Link's outfit from Breath of the Wild, which is weird to say because Link's outfit from Breath of the Wild actually dressed him more in a blue suit, but this is based on how Link has looked in all of the other Zelda games, so it's kind of like this amalgamation of, this is how Link would look if he kept his original look in Breath of the Wild. And now it's in Tears of the Kingdom, and his Tears of the Kingdom look is basically how he looked at the beginning of the game when he wasn't even wearing a cap and he just wore his hair down. But all of the outfits that were in Breath of the Wild are now in Tears of the Kingdom, and this is the, like, THE capital, all the letters, whatever, this is the Breath of the Wild outfit. So I'm gonna end off the part with this attire. And since I'm doing Breath of the Wild outfit stuff, let's go to his Breath of the Wild house. There you go. And even the same photo is here from the DLC. I don't know if this photo still appears in Tears of the Kingdom if you haven't done the DLC or not. I guess it's still there, and it's just kind of like a half spoiler for the Breath of the Wild DLC. I guess it also means that the Breath of the Wild DLC is canon, that Link canonically gets a motorcycle, but you don't have it in Tears of the Kingdom. But that's okay. Anyway, I also went to this house so I can get a free sleep. I'm not opposed to having to spend a sleepover ticket at a stable or something, but I really just wanted to spend the time here looking at this house one more time and how different it looks in this game. And, oh, there was a picture of a gold horse all along, huh? I didn't even know gold horses existed in this game until I had to do that one side quest that required me to get one, and there was a picture of it inside here the whole time. And I guess the side quest was about Zelda saying how she used to have a gold horse or whatever, and she loved her gold horse, and then she lost it, and then I did the side quest. Okay, this part isn't about gold horses. This part was supposed to be about the Switch 2 edition of this game, and I guess to a lesser extent it was, but then it became about the Sage's Wells and the old maps, and that was also the intention of this part, and I'm happy to say, it's all done! That's every Sage's Well, that's every old map, and that's all the armor. And I guess it would be more appropriate to end this part with Majora's mask on, right? Because it was a big ordeal getting that, fighting all those Lionels. Alright, have it equipped, rightfully earned, and I'm most likely going to upgrade it in the next part. Whew! Folks, this has been quite a long but productive part, and the final few parts of this walkthrough are coming up, and they'll also be played in the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this game. For now, that wraps up this part of Tears of the Kingdom, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye, humans! Whoosh! And so, we've reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button or leave a comment. Either of those actions would really help me out. If you wish to see more of my gameplay content, please click the subscribe button so that you can be notified each time I post a new video. And if you click on the bell icon, you can customize how often you receive notifications. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and I hope to see you around in the future. Bye-bye, humans! Whoosh!